Hey everybody, welcome back. Can you believe it? IFT6. This is amazing. You notice Fabiola's not here? She's coming. She's coming. I'm making her come. Anyways, listen, I'm just glad that this is actually happening so much sooner than the last time. That's one of the biggest things I've found with this IFT6 is the FAA and all the rest of the regulatory bodies really didn't give Elon Musk a big hassle. They say, well, the trajectory is the same and whatnot, but honestly, is that the reason? Maybe not. Maybe not. So, this is going to be a good one. I am really excited about this. They moved the broadcast forward like 15 minutes because originally it was going to be happening at like 4:30. They were going to go live. Now it's 4:15. So we can hang out for 15 minutes, kind of talk and say hello to everybody. And then, of course, we will get into the actual broadcast to see exactly what's going on. I'll leave this on so we can see that that's going to be most likely, unless it changes, it still states 4:15 when they're going to go live. So we'll see what ends up happening. Now, let me just tell you guys, there is a lot of changes that have been, let's say, done to this vehicle. There's a lot of things. I was speculating that they might try doing a double catch this time, and it's just not going to happen. There's just no way to do it because they need the pins, they need the structure, and what they are doing this time is they're removing some heat shielding, and in the areas where they would be affixing the, let's say, pins or the catch hardware, right, to be able to catch it on Mechazilla, or the salad tongs, as I call them, the chopsticks, right? So they're actually removing a lot of heat shielding in that area. So we'll see how that goes. Also, they're removing heat shielding all over the place to really test to see what type of heat they're going to experience in the different areas. And then also they're going to be testing the underlayment, which is that extra coating, let's say. So you have your ceramic tiles that are like 4x6, and then right behind that, they have that, let's say, extra security, right? Which will be that underlayment, that additional protection. So if one of those plates, one of those ceramic plates falls off, well, you still have some protection. And that protection is actually made to evaporate, to disintegrate. And when it does, it cools at the same time. So very interesting. There's a lot of things that have been going on here. They have booster redundancy that they're working on, structural enhancements, because we knew that last time structurally it was together pretty good, but the problem with it was we saw some burn through going on, not as bad as the last time, where an entire fin like just evaporated pretty much, and it was just a skeletal structure left, but it was still working. Unbelievable. So there's some enhancements in that. There's definitely enhancements on the heat shielding as well as that or that secondary shielding that goes underneath it. Also, the improvement of the propellant offloading. That is like a big deal, and they need to be able to get the propellant off the craft once it comes in. I'm talking about super heavy, and they catch it and then put out the fire, right? Because last time we saw it was caught and then it was just sitting there kind of burning for a while, right? They need to put that out pretty quickly because you don't want something to just sit there and burn for no reason. There could be problems. So I think that they're going to work on that. They also did a lot of software upgrades to the system, which is really important. That heat shielding experiments, like I was talking to you about, that's going to be a big thing. Because that's going to, this whole structure has to do with heating and cooling. And remember, guys, when the unit is coming in through the atmosphere at the supersonic rates, it heats up so hot that plasma is pouring off it. Okay, so what they have to do is be able to get this heat shielding just right, right? It just has to be just right. And remember, you have this chilling effect and then this expansion effect when it's heating. So you got the contraction and then you have this mass expansion. So they have to get those tiles in there just right. If they're too close to each other during expansion, they'll pop off. If they're too far apart, well, the plasma and the heat can get in, right? So it's a dance, and each portion of the vehicle is heated differently, right? When it's coming in, the belly of it, right, is getting the full brunt of it. You could see the plasma pouring off it. but the sides are definitely cooler. So since the sides are cooler, you're going to put those heat shielding, those tiles closer together, and they'll be further apart where the massive heat is happening. So that's going to be something that they're going to work on. Also, the flap control. They did a lot of flap control testing. That's going to be like the thing that they're working on also. And we're going to see the Raptor engine. They're going to ignite one Raptor engine while in space. That's just to make sure that it works like it needs to, right? So that's going to be something that will happen today. And then what's really cool is it's going to be a daylight re-entry. So even though we're not going to see Starship actually land back at Boca Chica, that's okay. But we're going to actually see it land in the ocean because it's not going to be nighttime this time. So you'll be able to actually see it, and they'll be able to monitor things a little bit better visually. We knew that there was like buoys all around the landing location to take video, and I believe there's going to be even more video this time of that IFT-6, the Starship, when it lands in the Indian Ocean. So that's really exciting. That's a big, big deal, because when it actually does land, okay, if it can pinpoint that landing to a precise landing, even though it's in the ocean, it's going to topple over, right? If they can get it to a centimeter, just like they did with Super Heavy, if they can do that, well, maybe next time with IFT-7, they'll be able to land the Starship on the chopsticks also. That would be amazing. And a double catch, so to speak, just an hour apart. So the entire flight, that suborbital flight, is going to be about 65 minutes, is what they said. So there's a lot going on. And it's really, really, the biggest thing, of course, will be that catch. Are they going to be able to replicate the catch, or are they going to blow up the launch pad or what? Because that is I mean, when you watch it, it's just unbelievable that it's even possible, right? So anyways, that's what's going to be going on. I just want to say hello to everyone. We got about a couple hundred people already here. That's awesome. If you're new, welcome. I have about 368 Starlink videos that I've put together in the last 40 plus months. Go to my Starlink playlist and you will find all of them. They're like helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, what to do, what not to do. And as I always say, it's the why behind everything. So it's 40, I would say, yeah, about 40 months of knowledge all crammed into a playlist of hundreds of hours. So you can look at any of those videos. I have a ton. So check those out. So who's here? We got Rex. How you doing, Glacier? Good. Welcome, welcome. Dutch Linux. Martin is here. If you're new, put an emoji in there. Put something just so we can recognize you as being here. John Taylor, how you doing? Who else we got here? Honey Badger is in the house. Thank you, Honey Badger, for being here. Fragile 1976. We got Jose Perez. Thank you. Kevin. Ken, Peter Gosling, thank you so much. Peter Gosling has given 20 people, you might be one of the 20, memberships, free memberships to 20 people. So if you're one of those people, thank you so much, Peter. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you. If you're one of those people that received the 20 free memberships, say thank you to Peter. That's amazing. That's just awesome. Thank you so much. All those super chats, all this just really helpful. It really helps out a lot. Let's see. John K. Wolf, welcome. Thank you for being here. William, who else do we have here? Wendy, Mr. Nat Geek. Okay, you're here. Thank you for being here. Scott. And then, of course, we have those 20 people that receive memberships. You got King Squishy. I like the name. Daniel, Craig, Chris, Steve, A Hobbit, Jorge Lopez. Thank you. Say thank you over there to Peter. You got a free membership. Chris got a free membership. Let's see. Devon Fires got a free membership. We got Hugo with the free membership. Farrell, Mohammed, Eric, the Trolls, Win Boy. There you go. Free membership. Golfing Reaper, Sergio. Let's see who else. Sue, if you are one of those that got a free membership, once again, say thank you to Peter. Really would appreciate that. And thank you, Peter, once again. Let's see who else is here. Who else is here? Scott is in the house. We got Ryan Barrett. Thank you for being here, Ryan. Let's see. Ski Dog 99. Glenn. Thank you for being here, Glenn. Let's see. Ryan is here. Dovestep Kig 801 is here. Tinkering. I like it. Kevin, who else we got here? George Ordway, thank you for being here. Let's see, Rule Boy, we have Sean, Ronald. There we go. There's a lot more of you coming in. Awesome, awesome. So as of right now, what do we have time? We have 4:12, still nothing. Let me refresh that page. Let me see, anything pop up? Let's see if we're going live as of yet. Now, just so you guys know, this will be like the, let's say the Hangout screen. Once we go live, right, it's going to go full screen. It'll look something, let me see if we can get that. Something like this, okay? So it'll be full screen. You'll be able to see the entire event, and I'll be really small. It won't be just it'll be me and my wife. We'll both be here, all right? So just so you know, she's coming. Probably any second now. Anyways, so just so you know. All right, so we'll leave it like this just for now so we can see everyone's comments and whatnot. Once again, thank you for being here. Really do appreciate it. Butch says 388 miles northeast of Boca Chica, Texas. Awesome. I wonder at 388 miles, can you actually hear like sonic booms and stuff? How far does it travel? That'd be an interesting. You let me know, all right? Butch, that's Butch Landers. Let me know. So also, guys, if you have a question of any kind, put a Q before your question or at JCristina. Q before the question or at JCristina. It makes it easier for me to be able to find the questions because there's a lot of people. Last time there was like 600, 700, 800 people here or even more, and it was just running, right? So it's very hard to get to. Also, if you don't hear me like see a question for, let's say 15, 20 minutes, I could have missed it because sometimes YouTube, their pop-out chat thing, it jumps around, it does all kinds of stupid ass crap. It's just, that's the way it is, right? We have to deal with the YouTube stuff. So anyways, bear that in mind. Put the question in again. It's fine. I'm not going to, I probably will not answer it twice. Maybe I will because sometimes I'm off. But for the most part, I won't. Let's see. Oh, here you go. My name is Mr. Nate Geek. I like it. That's awesome. I think most of us that watch these type of events are geeks. I mean, we just like to see it. I mean, when I was a kid, I was watching the Discovery, right? I was watching the space shuttles launch, and it was just absolutely just awe-inspiring that they could even do that, right? And then after it was in orbit for X amount of time, it would just come back in and just land on a runway, just like an airplane. It's just cool. Simply cool, right? Well, now, like what we saw yesterday with a rocket, or yesterday, last, or IFT-5, a rocket actually landing where it launched from to the centimeter. I mean, that's just, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Imagine the engineering. Imagine the algorithm that's involved in that stuff, right? Just crazy. Just it has to account for the engine's thrust. Remember, there's 13 engines that are on when it comes in, and then finally the guiding engines are actually putting it where it needs to be. But it's analyzing like how much boost, how much thrust is on each engine. How about if one engine goes down during the what happens then, and what's the compensation? How about wind and just atmospheric pressures change and from rain to or whatever. There's just a ton of variables that it has to take into consideration just to land it pinpoint like that. It's just amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. They just pushed it back. So it said 4:15. Now it's saying they're going to start at 4:20. They're pushing it back. That's okay. Originally it was 4:30. Maybe they'll end up pushing it back to 4:30. That's fine. So as of right now, let's see. At T-minus 1 hour and 15 minutes, that's when the flight director pull the fuel loading. That's when that whole thing starts. By 49 minutes, that's plus 49 minutes, Starship liquid methane loads. That's when it starts beginning its load. And then also at the same time, it's loading the Starship with the liquid oxygen. So you got liquid methane and liquid oxygen. It's approximately 10 million pounds of propellant. 10 million pounds. So that all starts at 49 plus 49 minutes. Then we hit right around 41 minutes plus 41 minutes, and that's when Super Heavy takes in some of its load. All right. So at 49 minutes, that's when we get all of we fill up, let's say, at the Hess station, right? We fill up the Starship at 49 minutes. By 41 minutes, then they start filling Super Heavy. And Super Heavy holds a lot, right? So that's at 41 minutes. So that's the liquid oxygen and liquid methane there too. And then that's going to happen all the way to T-minus plus 19 minutes. And that's when the Raptor engines start getting that chill down, right? They start freezing them. It just cools them down, right? So that's what happens right around T-minus or T plus 19 minutes. So that's what's going to be happening, but it's just not happening as of yet. And I'll just kind of point that out as the time goes on so you know exactly what's going on at any given time. So really cool stuff. Once again, put a Q before your question, put at JCristina. That'll be much easier for me to find. Once again, Peter, thank you so much for those free memberships that everyone got. Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's see. Yes, 83 Jeep said that ship propellant has started. Absolutely. It is running. It is running. That's one of the things that I talked about in my last video too. And I don't know if everyone is aware of it, but it takes time, right, to prepare this amount of propellant, liquid oxygen, liquid methane, right? 10 million pounds. So what I was reading is that if they were to fill both Starship and Super Heavy to the top, in other words, it was at plus 49 minutes, and I think it's done right around plus 20 minutes, somewhere around there. Once it's full, once you hit that plus 20 minutes, you're pretty much stuck, because if you are not able to launch today and you were to try to launch tomorrow, there might not be, let's say, enough time to make the additional propellant that's necessary. So let's just hope it goes off. According to what I'm understanding, in Texas, everything is beautiful. Weather is absolutely nominal. So that is great, right? So the only thing that we'll see that there'll be a problem won't be weather, will be a technical issue of some kind. And hopefully that doesn't happen. They already did this once. They're doing it again. And this time they're doing more testing. I wish they would open up the Pez dispenser and shoot out a single Starlink satellite, a version 3, the big ass version as I call it, right? Which is the larger one, which is 4 times the size as the current version 2 mini and 10 times the capacity, the amount of data that can be transacted through it. So that would be pretty cool, but I don't think that that's going to be happening as of yet, right? Maybe the next time, IFT7, IFT8, maybe they'll open up that Pez dispenser and launch one out. That would be incredible to see. What else do we have here? Dutch says, I wish I could control my flaps. I like it. I like it. Ryan says, let me see. Said you should stream Felix stream for what you're about to with the camera. Felix stream. Send me over a link. Let me see. Most likely we're probably just going to use the X stream. But we'll see what ends up happening. We'll see how that goes and whatnot. So let's see. Let's move on here. What else do we have? Once again, put a J, put an at JCristina or a Q before your question. It just makes it a lot easier. Hello.
Hi.
I told you she would be here.
I'm
right?
here. I
Better
flew in.
late than never.
I flew in
Yes.
on the rocket. They dropped me off before.
They just dropped you, just launched
Yeah.
you? Excellent, excellent. So,
Oh,
yeah.
no, I forgot my glasses. I got to fly back out.
All right, there you go. And she's gone again, and I will move over. So let me see. Moving on here, Dutch Linux says SpaceX uses Linux for their flight computer. Absolutely. Why did they choose Linux over Windows, do you think? I love that. Dutch Linux. Is there anything besides Linux? Just so you know, like if you're new to this channel and you've never been here before, we're running 100% Linux. We've been running Linux for the last, 110, 120 days now or something. It's about 4 months. Let's call it 4 months. All right. I've been using Linux only. That's for all production work. That's for all editing, video editing, audio, any type of photo editing, anything that we do that we used to do on Windows, I'm currently doing it on Linux. Linux is a stable, a really strong and powerful system, very lightweight, and it doesn't spy on you like the crap that Billy the Kid provides over there with his Windows junk, right? So a lot of people went on this journey with me. I created the Life After Windows, Life After Microsoft Windows, Cutting the Cord series, and you can find a playlist on my channel for that. If you want to cut the cord too, or see if there is alternatives and see how I've been doing it and what I've been using, check it out. I also did a Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord. So I deleted all Adobe software, and I've been using alternatives for the last 5 years. You can go back to a video playlist of that too, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. So that's what I'm all about. That's what this channel has always been about. Getting something new, maybe something, let's say, an alternative to what everyone else is using. Like when we got SpaceX Starlink, no one had it. There was 112,000 people in totality that was using SpaceX Starlink when we started, right? It was just after beta coming into it, right? So now there's just shy of 5 million subscribers on SpaceX Starlink. 5 million. Absolutely unbelievable. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see. Anything going on? It looks like it's live. So I'm seeing the space. Let's see. There we go. All right. They will. So let me do this. And there you go. Let me turn this down here. So this is what happens. They play this elevator music junk, and then what ends up happening is YouTube will demonetize either the entire video, or we have to cut the section that has this absolute crap elevator music on it. So just so you know, I'm going to leave it completely off, and we'll just leave it like this right now, just kind of playing. But yeah, you're not going to hear it because they did this the last time. All right, here we go. There it goes. Look at that. Look at that. I love this intro that they have. It's a really, really cool intro. So anyways, guys, let me get back into a couple of questions before they go on there and start talking, because I'm not going to talk over them unless they're just babbling about something that you probably already know. Babble. We don't want to hear babbling, right? Let's see. Michael said you should stream. Let me see. What about the camera you have set up at the site? That would be actually kind of cool, right? If I had the opportunity to put a camera at Boca Chica, that would be awesome. But there is going to be a time when we will see Starship launching 3 hours up the road over here in Cape Canaveral on the Space Coast. If that happens, all bets are off. We might end up doing a stream right from a launch here in Florida. So we'll see what happens with that. Dubstep says, do you think the new executive branch is going to let the chains off SpaceX? You know what? So there's more activity. 110%. The new administration that we'll be getting in is going to be a lot more favorable to SpaceX. And that just simply is going to mean that there will be a lot more launches. The FAA is just not going to just make things so difficult as they have. Let's see what they're saying. And then what we'll do is we'll come back to some questions.
Of the world's biggest rocket. We're targeting our first afternoon Starship liftoff just 34 minutes from now, and that will occur at 4 p.m. Central Time. Now, this timing will bring us daylight views of the ship splashing down on the other side of the world. I'm Kate Tice, Senior Quality Systems Engineering Manager here at SpaceX.
Hello to my
And I'm
peeps out
Jesse
there.
Anderson, a Senior Structures Engineering Manager, and we are joining you live from SpaceX Hawthorne. On Flight 5, we promised you maximum excitement, and Starship delivered in what had to be one of the most memorable moments in my time here at SpaceX. Like so many of you, we were in utter shock as we watched that historic booster catch unfold, and we're back today to try and do it all over again. As Kate mentioned, it's been just over a month since Flight 5, making this our quickest turnaround yet between Starship flight tests. Our ultimate goal is to get that turnaround time down to hours.
Following Flight 5, the SpaceX team went to work, immediately implementing lessons learned into the vehicle and tower's hardware and software
when you see
systems
this, right,
for
guys?
Flight 6.
I mean,
this is what rapid iteration looks like. We gather real data from these test flights and turn around and fly again as soon as possible.
Look at this
This
size,
is the process
the largest
that is bringing
rocket
us the
on the
rapidly
planet.
reusable Starship that will soon be taking us to the moon and Mars.
Flight 5 proved that we can safely bring the booster back to the launch tower, which is a key factor in driving rapid reusability, and land ship with a high-precision splashdown in the Indian Ocean. We'll be taking you through today's test objectives in just a moment, but first, let's check in with Dan, who's on the ground just a few miles from the pad at Starbase with the best views. How's it going, Dan?
Real quick, while they're still,
Hey Jesse, it's going fantastic. I got a couple hundred of my best friends out here ready to watch this launch and hopefully another catch today. But welcome everybody back to Starbase for another Starship launch.
I'm here
Dan
during
Hewitt.
daylight hours.
Got Launch
What is
Control
happening?
Center right
I know,
behind me.
right?
Tower just about 6
I'm going to
miles
turn them
over
down
there.
just a little bit, and then we'll turn them back up in just a minute. We'll still be able to hear them in the background. So,
So where did you say you left off?
right around here.
And we are counting down to the
Michael
very
Bartlett.
top
Hey,
of our
Michael, how's it
window.
going? Hi, everybody. I haven't had a chance to say hello to everybody, but you know I'm on the chat, so
You are here.
I am here.
You are here.
Did you catch up with Force Ghost
No,
Jeremy?
go ahead.
Apparently, Starship will be coming back faster and in steeper descent. It's going to be interesting to see what if it survives.
Yeah,
What's
if
your
it makes
prediction?
it. So that's 100% the case. They are going to bring the Starship back in at a just a harsher, let's say, angle, so that it can experience even more loads, more G's, more heat, more everything, to see how far they can push the thing before it decides to evaporate or RUD itself, right? So we don't want to see a RUD today. I mean, every time we watch the launch, you just don't know what you're going to see, right? There could be massive explosions. Now look at that shot. Look at this shot, guys. You see that? You can see that there's a wraparound now of the heat shielding around the flaps, whereas before it was kind of like ended right here. And some more of the heat shielding is kind of like just over that edge, which is really good because we saw that last time. There was like some hot spots where it was getting some burn through on those flaps. So for the next IFT-7, there's going to be some major modifications and movements, and they're also going to go with a larger diameter. It's going to hold more fuel, more propellant, which is crazy in the next one. So there's going to be major changes. This is going to be almost like a status quo type of thing, just to get to a point to say, you know what, we can do it. We can do it again. It wasn't an anomaly. We're going to catch it again. It's going to be caught perfectly. And the Starship is going to launch and land in the daytime, so we'll be able to see it land perfectly in the Indian Ocean using those buoys and whatnot. They're going to have a lot more cameras, is what they're saying. So go ahead.
Amazing. Okay, Robert Hodge, word up from King George, Virginia. I'm 1700.
How are you doing?
1,744 miles away. Do you think I'll be able to hear it? LOL.
How far? 700? 1700. You will absolutely not hear it. You will not hear nothing. You will hear absolutely zero.
Marinate Geek. The geek is from when I got really good on computers. I have a 24 plus Tbit of data. I'm a programmer. I do have a website, but it's not open. I learned over 25 languages, including HTML.
Jeez.
That's amazing.
That is a geek right there.
Love
Like
it.
my first language I learned was assembly code, and I started burning EEPROMs back in the day on an old Apple I, an Apple II, Apple II Plus, burning EEPROMs. That's how I started.
When were you
So-
born? 1900.
I was born in the 1900s. Thanks, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I was actually born, guys, just in case you want to know. If you don't care, it's fine too. I'm going to tell you. I was actually born when we landed on the moon the last time. So I'm all for it. I cannot wait to see us land back on the moon. That was in 1969.
When did they create Jiffy Pop? Was that around the same
What the
time?
hell kind of question is that?
Because that was such a NASA thing back then.
Jiffy Pop. Give me a question.
I got a question. Brandon Perry.
How you doing, Brandon?
When do you think the V3 satellites will hitch a ride on Starship?
Yeah, so I'm going to say if they land this thing perfectly, right, and they can salad tong or chopstick this thing out of the air in the next one, I would say probably IFT 8. We will see the Pez dispenser open up, and some of those Pez actually shoot out of it. Pez being the version 3 Starlink satellites that I was talking to you guys about earlier that are 4 times the size and 10 times the capacity of the current version 2.0 minis. So that's pretty damn cool. So,
hello, Flying Pretzel.
How you doing, Flying Pretzel?
Trump is there, someone just said.
Really?
To watch Elon. It's somewhere around here. I just saw it pop up. But I'm not sure, so I can't confirm that.
That is unconfirmed information.
Yes.
That
I mean, I
Trump
wouldn't doubt it.
is at the launch site. That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. Rover Dogs.
How you doing, Rover Dogs?
We'll be going off grid in Arizona, and Starlink will be how I still can make a living. Speed. My daughter plays online game as well.
There you go. So I've played online games. I've on my channel here. I've actually played some games, so you can actually see. I did Guild Wars 2, just so you can see what the speeds look like. That was like probably a month ago or so. And yes, you can actually play video games. You will actually see Elon Musk play Diablo 4 many times live, and he will broadcast it, his live gameplay, and he will do it through SpaceX Starlink. And he's getting in the 20 millisecond range, which is unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. His goal, Elon Musk's goal, is sub 20 milliseconds. Now, I've been getting about 15 to 18 milliseconds. The lowest that I've seen so far as latency goes is 14.7 milliseconds, which is crazy. That's literally the top end of some fiber that you find out there, and definitely some cable companies are going to be in that area. So sub 20 milliseconds from a satellite at 530 kilometers in space is just sick. Is that a beautiful shot? Look at that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Is that absolutely beautiful?
It's so perfect.
It's
fake.
It's just
perfect.
It looks fake. Yeah, I don't think that any of the. You know how many people tell me that this stuff is all fake? That when we see these rockets launch, it's not real. They also tell me through my email and through DMs and stuff. I get it all. Okay, guys. They tell me that the satellites are actually up there on balloons. Like balloons are holding them up there, and they're not in space at all. And all of the stuff that you see is complete BS. I love the bananas, guys. Once again, the meme bananas, right? I told you what it was all about in my last video. Basically, it's a good way to measure things, right? Because if you say something is 10 bananas high, you know bananas are about 6-7 inches. You know how big a banana is. And that's something that they did, which I thought was awesome. Let me see if I can show you what this looks like. Let me see. Hold on.
While you do that,
Eric
McMahon said 10 million pounds of meth is 2,577,000 gallons. That's a lot.
That is a lot of.
Did you call out
methane.
a super chat?
I did.
Okay. Just
I
making
did.
sure. Mateo 7. Weather is great here in South Texas. I'm about an hour and a half drive from Boca Chica. Closest ATIS is 0301 kilometers, 10 SM. Clear. All looks good.
Perfect. That's what we want to hear. That is
Nice.
absolutely perfect.
Rover Dogs. Oh, no, we did that one. Sorry, you guys. I'm just trying to catch up. So I did see someone put a Trump update that he flew over like 2 hours ago.
All right, guys. So this is so we'll get confirmation on Trump if he's going to actually be there. But take a look at this. So I showed you guys this yesterday on my video, and it's just not the coolest thing, right? Let me switch over to this shot. Okay, can we see it? Yes, we can see it. Let's go ahead and get rid of.
83 Jeeps said Trump fly down about 2 hours ago.
Oh, okay. So Trump's going to be there. So this is what is on the side of the current Starship. Is that not funny? There you go. So it's a banana, a pixelated banana holding an actual banana. And the thing is this banana is the exact size for reference on how big the structure is. And the reason we know that is each one of these tiles are 6 by 4. So there you go. It's right around 6-7 inches, that banana. So that's the whole idea behind the whole banana thing. There we go. We'll go back to there.
Glenn Kowalchuk, newsflash, $100 million deal, Starlink free hardware for Ontario customers.
Wow. That's pretty big. That is really big. Sweet. Let's see while you're going through that, let's see what they're having to say over
Tiles
there.
are something we iterate on every flight test as we build towards a heat shield requiring no refurbishment between flights to unlock rapid reuse.
And the teams have actually already begun testing the heat shield tiles in environments simulating Mars atmospheric entry conditions, which we'll see more of in just a few minutes.
Yeah, 100% correct. As of right now, the ship is going suborbital. We need to get the ship to be able to hit that 200, 300 kilometers right around there, because that's when they would be released. And then
what is the actual launch time?
The launch time is what do we got? T-minus 22 minutes. Yep, T-minus 22 minutes. So yes, you're absolutely right. And they need to get the Starship to get out of that suborbital and actually get to a 230, 250 kilometer range. And at that point, they will be able to release a Starlink satellite, because once they get to that altitude, they can actually push themselves with their own propulsion system up to that 530 kilometer mark. But bear in mind, the version 3s that will be coming out, they have already asked the FAA, the FCC, all the rest of the regulatory bodies, maybe even Fish and Wildlife, I don't know. They've already asked for permission to fly these satellites sub 500 kilometers, meaning that we're going to see some of these satellites in the 400 kilometer range, 420, 470, 450, something like that. And when we do, if we can take 100 kilometers off those satellites, the speeds are going to be faster, the latency is going to be less, and then also what we're going to end up with, the negative of it, is you're going to have let's say a shorter end of life, right? So the end of life for these things might be 5 years, but when you're 100 kilometers closer to Earth, you have more atmospheric drag, you got more gravity pulling on it. You're going to only be able to stay up there for a shorter period of time. So instead of 5 years, maybe those satellites will only stay up for 3 years, and then they'll burn up in the atmosphere. But they still want them closer, because closer is better. You're going to get, once again, faster speeds, lower latency. It's just simply better.
Tanizo wants to know, are you streaming with Starlink now?
We're actually doing Starlink and fiber right now.
Yeah, because we don't want to have any issues.
No issues, right. We're doing both. So we have Starlink as a backup and fiber as the primary as of right now. Most of every other broadcast that you have seen, because we just got fiber, every other broadcast has been done on Starlink with absolutely no problem. And we are broadcasting at 4K. And it doesn't even hiccup. Starlink is really solid. As long as you don't have anything that trees, like a canopy over it or something, as long as it can see the sky, we're getting about anywhere from 18 to about 28 megabits per second up speed, and anywhere from about 200 to 300 down speed currently where I am.
Dutch Linux, LOL, you did not answer my question.
What is it?
Why SpaceX use Linux for their flight computers over Windows? You think you got distracted?
And blue screen of death, right? I don't think you want to land this thing and have a blue screen of death and now the entire thing blows up or something. Linux is just a solid operating system, number one. Number two, they're probably not using a distribution of Linux that is just something that you would just find, I'm sure it's, let's just say, modified down to a kernel level. So even though it is Linux, it's going to be very, very heavily modified, proprietary, and whatnot. So they got enough really smart programmers there to be able to have their own distro. So yeah, but Linux is the way to go. They're definitely not going to use Windows or any of this junk, for sure.
Let's see.
Any more questions?
Total Steve, what's your guess of when we will get DTC now that the Trumpster is in?
Well, if he's in or not in, DTC is coming before the end of this year. So if you don't know, guys, what DTC is, it's direct to cell, as they call it, meaning that you can use your cell phone and make a call or text using a satellite overhead. It turns your unmodified cell phone into a, I guess you would call it a sat phone, like the old sat phones with the big antennas. It turns your unmodified phone into a sat phone. So in case if there's no Wi-Fi, there is no towers near you, you're on the top of a mountain somewhere, you can pick up your phone in the US if you have T-Mobile and just use it. Just text people or make a phone call. You're not going to be able to make a phone call in 2024, but in 2024 you'll be able to text if you have T-Mobile. But by 2025 you're going to be able to make phone calls, and before the end of 2026 or the beginning of 2026 you're going to be able to do video also. That's how powerful it is. So these satellites, there is approximately 250 currently cell towers on orbit. 250 of the Starlink satellites are converted into cell towers. So just think of your phone accessing a cell tower that's not a mile or two up the road, that is 530 kilometers overhead, just to give you an idea. So
Tennessee Wirehead, Starshield.
How you doing?
Satellite carrier question.
Starshield?
Satellite carrier.
I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. Just
Tennessee
Wirehead. Just get a little more specific. Starshield, I know you're probably talking about the military side of Starlink, but what do you want to know about it?
Marinate Geek, I just answered you, just so you know, who is typing these messages as you. Me, as best as I can. Hey Janice, how are you? Peter Pumpkin Eater.
Peter
Say that
Pumpkin
really
Eater?
fast.
I like it.
Would I be able to witness it all way back in South Africa? Where are they going to capture it?
No. So, oh yeah, well, you'll be able to see it live, hanging out with us. But actually see it happen, that won't be, you'd have to be in Boca Chica, Texas. So if you're not there, you're not going to see it. Or you're going to be floating in the Indian Ocean watching the Starship come back. So, I don't know.
I just want to say thanks to Shannon.
I think it's funny. Look, wait a second. They're showing a render of this catch, but I don't know why they're showing a render of the catch, because it actually happened last time. They should just showed footage of it actually catching it last time. Anyway, there's 1.1 million people currently watching this, just to give you a scope of how big of a deal. It just hit 1.2 million now watching. We're at T-minus 15 minutes. Shannon is here?
Yeah, Shannon. Shannon did a super chat. And,
thank you for being here. Purple hair super chat.
Said I can't hide. Super chat, purple hair. So I said
yes.
Thanks, Shannon. Let's see. So.
Lots of bananas. I love it.
They're all over
That's going to be it. Instead of poop emojis, it's just going to be all bananas. I love it.
You came up with a banana one.
I should.
Willard Shoko. Starlink has a status of sold out on the map in a number of cities in Africa. London, Austin, Texas, and other parts of the U.S. What will need to be done to create more capacity in those areas?
Yeah, so we're going to have to wait for Starship to actually put the larger capacity, the version 3 satellites into orbit. That's just it. You can do it by simply doing more satellites of the version 2 minis. That's not a problem. There's currently like 6,500, I think, in operation. So yeah, they're going to continue to launch the version 2 minis. But once they launch the version 3s, which will be on the back of Starship, or inside the Starship, right? And launched out through their Pez dispenser. They're going to put like 100 plus 200 in orbit every time they launch. That's going to be a lot. And like I said before, they have 10 times the capacity. So they'll be able to handle 10 times the people. Think about it, right? So it's a really big thing. We're not there yet, but it is really big. But that's it.
All right.
Starlink version 3.
Memberships gifted by Shannon and
Oh my
Peter
God,
Gosling.
look at that.
There's 60 between Shannon. There's 50 and 10 by Peter. Thank you so much. I don't want to name everybody obviously right now. So if you got a membership from either of these two, please reach out and say thank you. Because it's a party today.
It is a party. That is a lot of people.
It is.
That is a lot of people. Wow.
Lighting it up. I like it. I like it.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much. Christopher Yeager, JC, don't miss floppy disk. George Ordway, I have a few boxes computer punch cards that my dad used to input his programs.
Wow,
oh my God,
so you're ahead of me. That's pretty cool.
Mr. Headquarters just watched your latest video, man. I will be glad when Elon can get more satellites in the air. I never got over 16 megabits. Reboot,
really?
Reset,
okay.
You name it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, there'll be definitely more. They're coming. They are definitely coming.
Marinate Geek. Okay, you read that because I don't want to.
It says, what TB or terabyte, I guess, bits and bytes and megabytes and gigabytes and terabytes. Don't forget about petabytes, which would be 1,000 terabytes.
Okay.
Anyways,
all of that.
Yeah, never reached this, but after this is petabyte. Yes, absolutely. Yep. It would be nice to have a petabyte of anything, but right now my storage system has 40 or 50 terabytes in it. My NAS, my Unraid server that I wrote that book, How to Create a Digital Fort Knox, Backing Up Your Digital Life. You can find it on Amazon. Shameless plug. You can see it right here behind Fabiola. And you can get it on my website, JCristina.com. I teach you how to build one of these Unraid servers. They're awesome. Absolutely awesome. Let's see.
There's okay, here. Eric wants to know, does P. Diddy have footage of you at his parties? Did you use it to blackmail you? LOL.
P. Diddy. Dude is nasty. I don't know.
Jonathan's the name. Hey fam, what's up?
What is up?
Jim Russling, my computer work started in '64 on a 1401.
Wow.
Ivan Gonzalez, you guys make this a better experience to watch. Thanks.
Thank you for being here.
Why do you have to
Sorry.
Talk right then?
Right now,
Jeff Fanner, hi from South Africa. Can't wait for this. Right now it's 2,300 hours
in 2025
essay
we'll continue
time.
that focus while also potentially
Yep, it is T-minus 11 minutes, guys. 11 minutes.
Yeah.
T-minus 11 minutes.
Kevin wants to know, does the banana have a name? Like Mr. Banana.
Yeah, I like Mr. Banana. We can go with Mr. Banana.
Which will put the first humans
Fox Caro, hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Time to version 4 antennas and routers. Question?
What is that?
Time to version 4 antennas and routers.
Oh, I would say it probably won't happen until 2025. I don't think we're going to see a version 4 until the beginning of next year. Version 3 is doing exceptionally well. So they're probably going to analyze what the new altitude is going to do and probably reduce. The whole idea when it comes to these dish is to lower the cost. My speculation is there will be one day when you do not have to pay for SpaceX Starlink hardware, where the hardware is free, like if you got T-Mobile or T-Mobile Home Air, or if you got AT&T or Verizon's home internet or something like that, where you get the actual router for free, right? And then you pay $50 a month. I'm going to guess it'll be like that for SpaceX Starlink, and they're probably trying to consolidate and make smaller and smaller and smaller. Like the Mini is tiny, and it runs on 12 volt now. That's crazy. So I'm going to guess it's going to be the beginning of 2025.
All right.
much rather find the bugs and limits
Okay.
during testing
George
than
said,
later
walking
on
to get some adult beverage for $1,700. Have you in my pocket?
Yes, yes. The adult beverage would be nice, but
to learn as
Toot
fast
all-
as possible.
Toot all,
Makes up no
Steve.
compromises when it
Thank you
comes
for
to
the
safety
super
of the
chat
public
towards
or
hiring
our
a
team.
contractor
So
to
all that
finish
to
the
say,
bathroom.
This is only the sixth of
Well,
many
I
future
do have to
flights
update
at Starship
really
before it
quick.
becomes
Joe's
fully operational.
really moving along
And
this
we
week with a
tend to do
little
our
extra
testing
push.
out in
We're
the
not going to
open,
talk
just
about
like
who's
today.
pushing,
And that
you know.
means
Who
But
would push?
There are some things getting ahead. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm kind of excited now.
Did you hear something positive that I did?
Also, there's someone pushing the positivity to move.
You are pushing the positivity. I appreciate you.
I know. I'm here for you.
Yeah, no, I know you are.
To the very end.
I get
You might
it.
remember
Good.
the Starlink panels
Appreciate
that are
it.
incorporated into
Good
Starship,
Lord.
and you can see them there
That's a commercial.
on your screen. Those
What is it?
rectangular
I don't know,
panels
something
on
like
Starship.
Oh, just hit skip.
Starlink
Just hit
puts the
skip.
FPVs in space and all the
Eric said, I
entry.
bet part of the
It
reason
also
for wanting
helps deliver
satellites
us
closer for
critical
shorter
flight
life is an
data
excuse
engineers
to
need to
replace them
continue
with
development.
nicer, newer satellites that have more
Starlink
capacity.
continues to help us push the limits in space.
People, you guys wanted a banana, and there you go. There's a banana now.
Wow. And what button is that?
No button yet,
Oh,
but
wow.
I just put it.
I'll
I just put it
guess.
there for now.
Is it going to stay up there the whole time?
No, I will take it away. But you have a banana now.
Wow.
We're gonna leave the banana just for a minute.
That happened way faster than the bathroom. I'm just saying.
See that? So I get this backhanded thing, right? Sometimes I'll get something that's
You
good.
walked right into it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
told you
It's
it
nice.
was. I'm here for you.
I know you are. I know.
Forever.
I know.
And ever.
God damn.
Now, as we continue
Okay. Welshman Farm question, is fiber cheaper than Starlink or T-Mobile in your area?
Yeah, so fiber for us here. So what ended up happening is the community ended up getting fiber, which is 300 by 300, and it's like an extra $50 in dues or something. But if you want, what we want would be a gigabit, and that's what I pay for, which is an extra $99 a month. So, I mean, in totality, I guess it'd be like $150 a month. So
7 minutes.
7 minutes, T-minus 7 minutes, guys. So it's not cheap. That's just simply it. It is simply not cheap. You know, some people are getting fiber really cheap, but for us, it's just not happening. It kind of is what it is. But it doesn't really matter because SpaceX Starlink is now the secondary, which is the backup. Is when you're in a rural area like we are, you need to have multiple internets. Currently, we have AT&T, we have T-Mobile, we have Starlink, and now we have fiber. And we're going to get rid of AT&T and T-Mobile, and then we'll only have the fiber and Starlink. And Starlink and the fiber, I'm going to teach you guys how to bond these things together. I'm working on it. It's not done. I think I might use one of these. If you don't know what this is a Raspberry Pi, all right? We'll get into that maybe in a future video, but I'm going to show you how to do it with this instead of paying someone to do this, not session level, but packet-based bonding of multiple connections. So that's coming soon. You still have that banana? I'm gonna have to take the
I
banana
don't
off.
know. You put it up there.
What's
but
going on with Shannon?
Can we get a pre-flight engine
Kate,
test?
afraid I have nothing
That's
but
right.
good
We
news
could
for
do
you.
that, right? Let me
Here
see.
we go.
Let me see.
I'm moving
A
away.
little over 90%
No.
full on ship.
No.
You haven't even tested that thing. It's gonna
85%
backfire.
full
You're gonna
on
blow
booster,
yourself up.
And not tracking any holds to an on-time liftoff. So we've got
You have
about
6
3 more
minutes.
minutes of
I have
prop
6
load.
minutes.
As long as the
Do you
range
even know how
stays
to take the
clear, we don't
banana
trip
off?
any other holds. We
Yeah.
might blow right past that T-minus 40
You want me to take the banana off? Let me see. The banana is off.
4
For now.
p.m.
For now.
Central.
Let me see.
Toss it back to you guys
So-
one more time. But
Let me
fun
just
part
listen
about
to what they're
start,
saying
we
real quick.
are, a little under 6 minutes away from launch.
There you go. 6 minutes away from
All right.
launch.
So
Here we go.
continuing to
Ready?
progress
Back up.
now, 5 minutes
We're gonna light it up.
seconds
Okay, here we go.
until liftoff.
Sometimes it just
Once
blows a
we
big
pass
torch. You
T-minus
just don't know,
47,
right?
A number of events are going to
I'm over
occur
here.
in
You're over
rapid
there? All right, here we go. Ready?
succession.
1, 2,
Ground
3.
spin and ignition sequence
Oh my gosh, you see?
Listen to that, guys.
on to internal power.
And then after that, the quick
Psycho.
disconnect, or what we call the QD arm
So,
lockout, is removed
there you go.
preparation
There's the
for traction.
there's the first
Shannon,
one.
I hope you're happy.
And once we pass the T-minus
He could have
30
literally
seconds
blew
That
my
was
hair
like
up on
that was like a
one.
foot long. My God.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Right.
I'm gonna stick that right there for right now.
Of fire.
Yes.
All right, we are down to 5
T minus 5 minutes. We're going to, at T minus 2 minutes, right around there, we're going to shut up a little bit, and I'm going to flip over to the other screen, which looks like this, so that you guys can actually see what's going on instead of us. So bear that in mind, all right? We're going to be moving over to that in just a second. But for now, we'll stay here so you guys can see your chats.
Juan said coming soon, Gen 3.
Yes, Gen 3 is coming soon.
We are just a few minutes away from Flight 6.
What does Shannon have to say over there?
The crowd here is building up.
I know.
We've got a much larger crowd here.
I love all the bananas, guys. More bananas. The more bananas, the merrier.
Thank you,
I
Eric.
love it.
Eric said, please don't burn Fabiola's hair. Thank you.
I'm telling you. I know, right? I know. Kevin, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you for the insightful conversation. Very much enjoyed the comment. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying all of the videos that we're putting out. We're doing about 3 to 4 videos a week now. And if there's a way for me to increase that, we might. So we'll see what ends up happening with it. But there's been a lot of information. Some people are like, well, how can you talk about this stuff all the time? But there's so much stuff happening. I mean, so many new things. It's just crazy. Yes, bananas everywhere, people. Bananas. What is this?
John said the rocket doesn't like her. I don't think so, John. I think you're right. Kevin, that would have caught Fab's hair for sure if she didn't back up. You see? Safety first.
That was, yes, that was like a 1.5-foot torch.
God. That needs a tune-up. Call Elon.
Our flight control team on board or in
My
the
God.
building just behind me. Not on
Brandon
board, something
Perry,
like
Christina
What does it say? Only see half the
building
picture.
behind me.
Left, I've been blind to the left eye.
after we lift
What
off.
is that?
I will only see half the.
A lot of manual checks that happen on
Yeah,
the
let's
tower
not that happen. All right, guys. So let me see. There's almost
3 minutes.
There's almost like 400 of you on here. If you have not given the video a thumbs up, the live, give it a thumbs up. That's very, very helpful, right? Share it with your community. Share it with your friends, family, colleagues. Share it on Reddit, on Facebook, wherever you are, so you can come hang out with us. Also, don't forget all those playlists, okay? If you want more Starlink information, I got 370 plus for you to dive into. A ton, hundreds of hours of helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, and all the rest of the stuff. So check that out. So we're going to flip us over here, and I'm going to turn them up a little bit, and us, we're going to just leave us where we
putting on
are.
a little bit of a
There we
show.
go.
And that's looking right in. That's where we're going to have Starlinks. That's our PEZ deployer. So getting its ride to space. So
Fabiola, I just
coming
heard
up
you
on
move
about
your
2.5
hair to the other
minutes,
side.
we
Thanks,
are
Shannon.
closing out
Yes,
on all
Shannon.
of our prop load.
You just never know what's
just
going to
heard
happen
that our
with
fill
these
drains
things.
are starting to
He's trying
close,
to
so
kill
that
me,
means we're
y'all.
no longer
not.
going to
Upset.
be
I'm
flowing
not.
propellant into
Because
the
I'm right
booster
now
and the
in
ship.
bathroom.
We're going to do what's called
That bathroom is
pushbacks.
doing
So
well.
all of that propellant
doing good.
on the
Finally.
ground
I
systems
wonder
is going to
why.
get pushed back to the
Yeah,
tanks.
I know.
Clear out
She's been
everything
on it.
around the pad right before we light those
Gonna need,
33
like-
engines and take off. Just quick reminder, you're going to see fire start at the bottom. You're going to see the deflector start at about 10 seconds before launch. Lots of
1
water to
minute.
help dissipate all that heat, all that sound. And then the engine's starting up in 3 different groups. And then about a second after T0, we should
T-minus
see liftoff.
1 minute, 37 seconds,
About
guys. T
2.5
minus 1
minutes
minute,
into the flight, a
37
little bit
seconds.
longer. We'll see
Yeah,
hot staging,
this is good.
and that's when
So
we're going to
just
be
so you guys
listening
know what's
really
going on,
close
1
those
minute,
loops
37
to see if
seconds.
we're going to be bringing the booster back for a catch today.
At the
You
30
always wanna
second
caution,
mark, which is in 1
it's
minute from
never a
now, at the
guarantee.
30 second mark,
We've done
the
this
flight
once.
director will
We'll
give
see if
the
we
go
do
for
it again.
launch.
We're
Go, no
only
go,
gonna do it
basically.
if
The
the
go for
booster
launch at 30
and the
seconds,
tower
T
are
minus
looking really
10
good,
seconds,
before we
flame
attempt to bring it back
deflector
here.
activation, and then
coming
finally
up
T
on a
minus
minute,
3
not
seconds, the
tracking
Raptor
any
engines
holes
ignite sequentially.
on the board right now.
Okay? On
So
startup.
as long
And then
as we don't have
obviously
any last
it
second
launches.
things, which
So,
do happen.
This is exciting. This is exciting. Now, just so you know, like the important.
All right, flight
the
director just
important
confirmed T
parts
minus
of this,
1 minute.
We're going to see the super heavy come back down, the catch attempt, 7 minutes in. So right around plus 7
Key
minutes,
moment to
guys.
look at in
that's
10
where you're going to see
seconds, that
this thing is going
T-minus
to
40.
catch or no catch. It really depends. And there's a lot of things going on with this catch and no catch. Not
We
only is it
flew right
computer
through that.
driven, but it's also there is someone there on site. So a human actually has to say, go for catch.
Flight directors go for launch.
So they have multiple redundancy going on. So that's really
All right,
cool.
we're now T-minus 20
T-minus
seconds
20
until
seconds, guys.
liftoff of
30
Starship
seconds. We just
Flight
heard the
6.
flight directors give a go.
This will mark our second attempt to catch the Super Heavy booster at the launch tower, as well as
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There it goes. Holy crap. I can't wait to see the underneath are all lit. Yes. It looks like all Raptor engines are lit.
Vehicle is
None
pitching
are out.
downrange.
Booster Raptor, chamber pressure nominal.
Sweet. Look at that, just the picture.
Booster and ship, avionics, power, and telemetry nominal.
There you go. Just so you guys know, you can look at the bottom here and you can see that all 33 Raptor engines are currently fired up. None are out. That is perfect. Absolutely everything's nominal so far. We're on plus 1 minute.
Vehicle
All right,
has
we're
reached
just a little over a minute
maximum
into flight.
dynamic pressure.
We're about 6
Max
miles
Q
away, so
happens
all the
at 1
sound's
minute
still
and
hitting
2
us here.
seconds.
Hearing good call-outs that power telemetry
Look at that.
nominal.
Perfect.
That's flying straight and true. We do see all 33 Raptor engines lit up on telemetry screens.
Perfect.
At this point, we've passed through that point of maximum aerodynamic pressure, that max Q. Now, coming up in just a little over a minute from now is going to be hot staging. So we're going to see the 6 engines on the ship ignite while still attached to the booster. Just before that, we'll see all but 3 center engines on the booster shut down. And
Yep, so it's
we
2
call
minutes,
MECO, it's
32
most
seconds,
engines
you
cut
have
off
super
instead of
heavy
main
engine cutoff, and then 2 minutes at 39 seconds, you end up with
And
the
so
hot
while we
staging that
continue to
happens.
watch it go up, a lot of our flight
we got about
controllers looking at
30
all the
seconds
systems
for
around the
hot staging.
tower. Again, we have to send a manual command.
Look
Just
at that.
about
It's just
30
crazy.
seconds away from hot staging.
Come on, tighten up, zoom in.
It's wild.
Look at the telemetry. There's 2.7 million people watching currently. Here we go.
And we
T-minus
heard
10 seconds for
We heard
hot
the
staging.
tower is go for catch.
Booster engine cutoff.
The return flag is set for true.
Here it
Ship
is.
engine startup.
Look at that.
Stage separation.
All right, hot staging confirmed.
Booster
6 out of
boost
6
back
lit on the ship. Booster boost back going.
Perfect.
We heard that we are go for catch.
Sweet.
Kate, Jesse, take the views. Hopefully I got a booster.
So even though they
Coming
say they're
home
go
real
for
soon.
catch,
Wow, from our view
30
here,
seconds
Dan,
before the catch, they
great
actually
views
make
of planet
the
Earth
manual
behind that
go
super
ahead
heavy
on the
booster.
catch.
Right now it is performing the
Ship
boost
chamber
back
pressure
burn.
nominal.
Good news there, telling us that the pressures inside the ship are good. That is the second stage or the upper portion of the vehicle. Follow along with the telemetry on the bottom of your screen.
Circular waves.
Yeah, booster is currently, super heavy
Oh,
is
that's
currently
like- it's
in its
breaking,
boost back
basically.
burn.
It's
This boost back
supersonic.
burn,
Avionics, power, and
And
telemetry
that's all.
nominal.
You can actually see all
this
of
boost
the.
back burn
it's
lasts just a
basically
little
fuel
bit over a
and
minute.
coolant is
So we've
what's-
got a
what you
little,
see. And right now,
approximately
right there,
30
you see
seconds
that?
left.
That's actually.
We've had shutdown of that boost back burn. Up next will be hot stage
All right, so they are
jettison.
going good. It looks like it was
The view from the camera on the left, or from the booster on the left-hand side of your screen, and then tracking cam there on the right-hand side of your screen. We'll see
Perfect.
those grid fins,
Booster offshore divert.
and we can also see that the hot stage has been jettisoned.
yes,
Now,
visual
eventually, that
confirmation
hot
of
stage
that there
we
on your
saw,
screen, which
like,
is great.
float off that they
Now the
lose
next-
each
Starship
time.
is following
That's
a
going
nominal
to be
trajectory.
made smaller, and it's going to
The
stay
next step for
on the
booster
ship.
is
Right
going
now,
into
they're
that
doing it for
landing burn.
weight,
Again, it'll light up 13
but
of
it's
those
going to be
engines
smaller. They're not
and
gonna
then
need it anymore to lose
pare
it,
down to
let's say.
3 engines right before booster catch.
All right, now just real quick, we did hear the call out, booster offshore divert. Unfortunately, that means that we are no-go for the catch. As we said before, both the tower and the vehicle, as well as the operators on console, have been actively evaluating the commit criteria for that return to the launch tower. And unfortunately, we did not have a pass on those commit criteria. So we were no-go for tower catch.
No go
and we
for
did
tower
mention
catch,
that
guys.
we're
That
constantly
is big.
evaluating the
That is
criteria
not
for
good.
catch. There's a lot of things that need to go well in order to line that up. Unfortunately, today we will forego booster catch today. But what you're seeing on your screen is ship currently making its way towards the Indian Ocean, still looking good so far.
There you go. All engines
Exactly.
are out.
So
now.
views there of the booster on the left-hand side of your screen, views of the ship on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, we said before that it was not guaranteed that we would be able to make a tower catch today. So while we were hoping for it, like we said, it was pretty epic on attempt one, but the safety of the teams and the public and the pad itself are paramount. So we are accepting no compromises in any of those areas.
Exactly, and we're still going to get a lot of good flight data with booster even, but especially with ship. Again, we have an additional objective today to do an in-space relight of a Raptor engine, which again will help us set us up for being able to do deorbit burns, which is
ship chamber pressure nominal.
Which is important for orbital flights. And what you're seeing on your screen is a view from Super Heavy as it's making its way back down to Earth.
Yeah, once again, we are attempting an offshore landing of the Super Heavy booster. So we have seen this before, and it is still very fun to watching it come down for a soft splashdown off the Gulf Coast of Texas. We can see it there re-entering. We saw earlier those grid fins. There are 4 hypersonic grid fins. So we can see that the landing burn has begun on the Super Heavy booster.
And same pattern, 13 engines will light. Gone down to 3, just as we expected.
And there we go.
And what an incredible view of Splashdown that we got today.
Look at it, it's like
Of Super Heavy.
Yeah, I'm sure the buoy cam views will be pretty awesome once again. So we'd like to confirm a water landing once again for the Super Heavy booster. Congrats to the SpaceX team for making that milestone as well. Now, ship continues to look good. We can see that it is, while all of that was happening, the crowd here in Hawthorne continuing to react to all these amazing views that we're getting. The next milestone is
Starship is in terminal guidance.
great news there. Starship terminal guidance, referring to what we see here on our screen, the upper stage, at about 8 minutes 35 seconds or so, we have ship engine cutoff, which will be the cutoff of the Raptor engines.
There we go. So at 8 minutes 27 seconds, you got Starship engine cutoff, and that's when it's just going to coast from 8 minutes and 27 seconds.
This view is also very interesting because we can see basically the receding tile line that we referred to earlier, where we mentioned we have removed a number of heat shield tiles.
TT said, "This is SpaceX. Always something is screwed up." What an incredible view, my ass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. No one has done what they've done in the last 4 years, right? So, I mean, NASA hasn't done it. So if SpaceX can do it, more power to them, you know? Just the catch that we saw last time was just unbelievable. So this time they didn't catch because I'm going to guess they were probably fearful that the catch wouldn't have happened and they would have destroyed the pad, and then it would push them back instead of, you know, it's better to, you know, be a little bit more conservative.
We'd like to send it back over to Dan, who can give us that live view experience. Dan, once again, are you okay after witnessing
said, I just saw the plume of the launch from outside my office in
Wow.
McAllen, Texas. That is cool.
you guys have to be jealous. This is the only way to do this. This is
Golfing
fantastic.
for
No, it was
safety concerns,
really
to
cool to
save
see a
the
liftoff,
pad.
33 out of 33.
Absolutely. You got to save the pad.
Today, initially, we were good, and then we tripped a commit criteria and did the offshore divert, so we went and did that water landing.
If it wasn't for SpaceX, we would still be in the Stone Age when it comes to the space flight.
But again,
I agree with that. I mean, look what NASA has done with the space shuttle. I mean, every space shuttle would launch like 9+ months later. I mean, we're talking about 2 Starships within a month, right? A month and a couple of weeks. That is insane. I mean, that's going to get, that's going to ramp up. It's going to ramp up a lot coming sooner than later. Especially with what's been going on over there with the administration, the new administration that's going to come in. There's going to be new FAA, new FCC, new Fish and Wildlife, new NOAA, new all these people, right? So it'll be just a new house. So things will be, I think, a little bit more favorable to Elon Musk, obviously. And at that point, we're going to see more Starship launches. That's basically it.
And all that's to try and help us learn, see if we were a little too conservative, and then maybe that opens up more capability for when we start catching them. But
Golfing Reaper 100
I'll check
ships
back in with
a year
everybody
is
in
the
a little
goal.
bit.
And how about some bananas, Shannon said.
Yes.
I agree.
Let me throw a banana on. Can we get a banana up?
I don't know where it is.
Oh, well, you don't have a banana. I'll have to put a
You'll
banana
have
up.
to do it.
Development testing by definition is unpredictable, which we saw
I think it was
with
awesome.
super heavy
Really clean.
splashing down in the Gulf of Mexico today, but that is exactly why we test. As is standard for these tests, the area around the pad and along the flight path was cleared prior to launch, and we expect the road and beach to remain closed until further notice.
Yeah, testing development flight hardware in a flight environment. is what
Dubstep
enables
Kid
our
said, "I
teams
cried
to
on the
quickly
first
learn
Starship
and
launch."
execute design changes and hardware upgrades
It's so amazing,
It
honestly.
is amazing. Tim Paddock, yeah, NASA had 5 to 6 vehicles at the most with the shuttle, and after 2 losses, they were not replaced.
Yeah, that's what happened. I mean, you can't. I've always said this, right? I've always said this. What NASA does in 10 years, SpaceX does in 10 months. That's just it. They blow shit up, guys. They blow shit up. That's what they do. And the reason they do it is because that's how they can iterate quicker and innovate quicker. That's it. NASA didn't want to take the risk, and that's fine. But Elon and SpaceX, they're taking the risk.
We are still testing Starlink during this phase of flight, so nothing is completely certain.
Yeah, so if we do
Joe
have
Bosi,
views,
thank you
we
so
will be
much for
sure
that
to
super
bring
chat.
those
Much
to you live.
appreciated.
Thank you so much. Really
Thanks for
appreciate
being
that.
here.
Really
TT.
appreciate that. Any questions you guys have, put at JCristina or put a Q before your question.
So,
TT said, "Why Stone Age? Don't forget Majestic Blue Shepherd."
No, there has been. I mean, the way I look at it is like what we did with Apollo was just unbelievable, and then what we did with the Discovery and with all of the space shuttles were also amazing. Let me turn this volume off, okay? Because if not, they'll be like, "Oh my God, you're playing our crappy music." So, as you can see on screen, I'm going to leave it on screen. I'm going to leave the banana on there too. So right now there's 3.6 million people watching. 3.6 million people. It is T plus 13 minutes. Now the vehicle is going to go, the Starship, around the planet. It takes about, in totality, about 65
Shannon said
minutes.
he can hear music.
Can you hear music? Oh, it must be through the thing. Let me turn that down. Let me turn it down. Because God forbid, because they will lose it. All right. So, we turn the music down.
All right, I have questions when you're ready.
Okay, but it's going to go, once again, suborbital around the planet. And then what we'll end up seeing is it come back. That's right around, see, right now we're at plus 13 minutes. At plus 37 minutes, that's when the Starship engine relights. Plus 37 minutes. So that's going to be a big thing. Because they're going to relight an engine in space. That's a big thing. They're going to do that. That's 37. At 47, all right, T plus 47 minutes, that's when it's going to start its re-entry. Get everything perfect how it needs to be. It's going to be transonic by T, let's say 1 hour. And then by 1 hour, 3 minutes, that's where we're going to be subsonic. It's going to slow down a lot. It's going to do its flip 4 minutes over the hour, and by 1 hour 5 minutes, it's going to land. It's going to hit the landing burn and land perfectly, supposedly, in the Indian Ocean. So let's hope that's exactly how it all goes down. We'll leave this up so you guys can see it. Go ahead. Questions?
All right. Steve said, any word on why the booster did not get caught, which is what you've been talking about?
Yeah, it's probably, they did not say as of now. But remember, like I said at the very beginning, there is a lot of, there's 2 different computer systems that are monitoring stuff, from weather to all kinds of flight profiles, to the flaps, to the thrust, to fuels, and all kinds of stuff. It's monitoring thousands and thousands and thousands of data points. And if one of those points pull up a red flag, they're like, eh. And then finally, like I said before, even if it was a go, the flight director, let's say, at that T, let's say plus 30 seconds just before it actually does the catch, they can say no go, and then the vehicle, the Super Heavy, will then move offshore and then land also in the Gulf of Mexico. That's the way they would do it. So anyways, that's how it went down. Okay. We just don't know exactly why.
James Clower, when is the
how you doing, James?
When is the relight going to happen?
Relight happens at plus 37 minutes, 46 seconds. That's the relight. So you're looking at maybe, 15, 18 minutes from now. That's going to be a major thing, all right? Because even though we're not seeing things happen here, they are testing a lot. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of data points that are coming into them. And what's amazing is it's all happening through SpaceX Starlink. All the video that we see, SpaceX Starlink. All of the data is SpaceX Starlink. This shot that we see right now at plus 16 minutes, SpaceX Starlink. All of it. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, go ahead.
Manny,
how you doing, Manny?
After a successful splashdown in the ocean, can it be reused or not really?
They scuttle it for the most part. Okay. Boom. You'll see the same thing with when they land the Starship in the Indian Ocean. Chances are it'll blow up. All right, we'll see, but I will say they'll blow it up. We got the banana still on.
Yes,
guys, we got the banana.
Shannon gifted another 50 memberships.
Holy
Shannon,
crap.
Continuing the party. So if you got a membership, please reach out and say thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Wow, that is a lot. If you got that free membership, make sure you say thank you, yes, right? And then put some bananas in the chat too.
BANANAS, you guys.
Did you just say BANANAS?
I did. Let's see. Michael,
thanks so
like
much, Shannon.
Hot staging.
Thank you, Peter, too. Thank you, everybody. All those super chats. Thank you so much. They do always help. They help. Yes, 120K. Can you believe it? The channel just hit 120,000.
Are you skipping over what I'm doing?
No, I just saw the thing pop up here. Sorry.
Okay, because you're in my lane.
Oh, I'm in her lane. I will stop. But thank you for that. Don't shoot me with it.
My turn, revenge. Let's see. Golfing Reaper. Wonder if the flap will melt again on retry.
You know what? Let's flip over like this, guys.
We can't. You answered this question because I had asked you earlier. Can they recover the booster from the Gulf? And you said you really don't know.
Yeah, they won't.
Sometimes yes, sometimes they don't.
I don't think they will. I think it'll just be scuttled.
Life and Death.
How you doing, Life and Death?
Apollo ran on the slide rules. Elon has the advantage of computers, not a level playing field.
That's true. And I agree with that 100%. 100%. I mean, could you imagine getting to the moon with a slide rule? That's why there's so many people that said, oh, it's green screen. It's not real, right? Because the feat that had to occur to actually get someone to the moon in 1969 in comparison to today, 50 some years later. I mean, it's crazy. Think about it.
Can you imagine
Absolutely
that people
crazy.
were that determined and united to do that?
They're sitting there with slide rule figuring out the math. And computers were people that were that good at algorithms, with equations, with figuring shit out. Now it's like you rely on a computer. And that's why I really like with the go, no go at 30 seconds or whatever it is that they have, because then a human actually has to say, the data's in front of me, go for the landing, right? Or no go, which is really cool, you know, because this way you're not putting all of your trust in the computers, you know? You still have someone having that that red button, to abort if they need to.
It's that emotional thing.
It's emotional, yeah.
A computer doesn't have that.
It has
That's
nothing.
That's the difference,
It just
right?
sees ones and
Exactly.
zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros,
Sometimes
and that's it.
you need that.
Yeah.
Dutch Linux, do you have a lighter big enough to relight the engines? Yeah. Ronster TV Media, what's up?
How you doing?
Happy Tuesday. You did answer this before, but Kevin Demore, during the ascent, there were many circular blue ripple waves. Any thoughts on what causes this? You said gases.
Yeah, it's gas. It's gas. Remember, they're burning methane and oxygen. Also, you'll see a big blast of, it looks like smoke, but that's actually icing, because they'll actually cool before they do that break apart, that hot staging that happens. So there's a lot of different things. But also when it hits supersonic, you'll see that too. If you watch the last video of the Super Heavy coming in and getting caught, when it comes in and it's coming in supersonic, you'll actually see the clouds burst like under it, like push away. That's how much, it's just crazy. It's just amazing. And then going from sonic, supersonic to and literally get caught. I don't even know. I wish we saw the catch today, but just like someone said, and just like what I said, it's better to, let's say, not blow up the pad and be a little conservative, not blow up the pad and be able to go on another day, right? So, anyways.
Right. Golfing Reaper, the booster blew up as
look
it
at the banana.
over.
Wait, is that a banana hanging?
It is. Jeez.
I think it is a banana. That is awesome.
Golfing Reaper, the booster blew up as it toppled over. Saw it on another stream.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Arnold Smith, very good on coverage.
Thank you, Arnold. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you.
Dubstep Kid. Whoa, Shannon, are you single? LOL.
Haha, Shannon.
Welch and Sun Farm, deep fried bananas for all. I love it. Lane Crash, that's what he does all the time, Christopher.
Sorry.
Lots of kicks going on under here. You guys just...
I feel, if you see me jar, do this, it's like I don't have Tourette's or something. She's kicking.
I don't know. I mean, you might. Who knows? I don't know what to tell you. Golfing Reaper, Starship will replace airplanes in the future 10 to 20 years from now. And Dutch Linux in the Apollo time, they used woven core memory. There were no RAM chips yet, so it was amazing what they did.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy, honestly.
Too Tall Steve, getting them to the moon was a big deal, but getting them back alive was the trick. Exactly.
That was the biggest trick right there. Yep. That's the hardest part. And that's the same thing that happens here. Heating. It's like there's so many issues. If the entry is not precise, the vehicle burns up. Period. End of story. It has to come in exact to be able to dissipate the heat where those heat shieldings are. And as you can see, the ship, if we take a look at this as a model, the whole underbelly has the heat shielding on it, all those tiles, but the backside has none. So it has to come in like this. So all of that plasma heat is just pouring off it. But if it came in slightly rotated, or if it came in the other way, it would blow up. That'd be it. It would melt. So everything has to be precise. And like we were saying, back in 1969, for them to be able to do that is just crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Milton Watkins, master bookbinder.
John K. Wolf said Trump is there. Interesting.
Yes. You're in my lane.
No, I'm just looking over there. It just popped up.
Right,
sorry.
Without a signal and everything.
Yeah,
you just
next time I'm going to put the blinker on.
No, next time I'm going to use the blinker in the opposite direction. Light you up. Milton Watkins, master bookbinder. Good day from Milton in Australia. Morning daylight
Thank
here.
you.
This is great instead of the middle of the night.
Exactly.
Polite Chihuahua, I missed the details on the banana. Is it real or a toy?
No, it's real. They actually have, matter of fact, I will bring up an image that I thought was just so cool. Let me see here. This is from, let me see.
Yes, Shannon, someone asked if you were single, and it was, let me see, hold on. Dubstep Kid, 801.
There you go. So take a look at that, guys. All right. You know what? I will switch over so that you can see it better. Okay. There you go. So that is on the Starship as of right now. And if you zoom in, it is a pixelated banana holding a actual sized banana. And the reason we know it's an actual sized banana is we know these tiles are 4x6. So that's about a 6-inch, somewhere around there, banana. Pretty cool stuff, right? So this is this is the kind of stuff. This is what I like about SpaceX.
That's as nerdy as nerdy.
They just keep it fun. They're nerds. That's like when they rebooted everyone's Starlink, and when it came back on, everyone's Wi-Fi was called Stinky. I mean, that's just fun. That's just cool, right? That's just cool. So anyways, yeah, I wanted to show that to you guys.
Welch and Sun Farm, hugs, not kicks today. LOL. Golfing Reaper, Starship. Oh no, I read that one. Sorry. We did that one. Okay, Radioactive Texan, how are you?
How you doing, Radioactive Texan?
How long will the jettisoned banana stay in the orbit? Glad you asked until Space Monkey flies by and eats it.
That's exactly right.
I love it. Shannon, I have a penis. Still interested? I can't.
Shannon?
I cannot. It's not Friday, Shannon.
It is not. This is not Free Speech Friday. Come on now.
Oh my God.
I love it.
I read it with such conviction.
You did. I have a penis. What the? Remember that movie? I have a penis. I have a vagina. Like,
No,
what the hell?
Girls have.
Oh yeah, girls have a vagina. Like, what is that? Just stop.
It was Shannon's fault. He started
Shannon.
Okay, Neutrino. I used to have a regular and a circular sliding ruler. It works with logarithmic scale.
Logs.
They were really cool. We used to have competitions to see who would solve math problems faster.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just I was not one to use a slide rule because I had computers when I was growing up, but it was like the basic computers, like the original IBMs, Sinclair, Ace 1000s, the first Apples, Apple 1, Apple 2, Apple 2 Plus, that type of thing. So that's when I was coding in assembly code, and then burning EEPROMs. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, you're ahead of me with slide rule. I've never used slide rule. A lot of sine, cosine, a lot of logs, a lot of tangent, a lot of work. But not through a slide rule.
Dutch. Currently, I'm working on game Banana Wars. 100%
Banana Wars. I love it.
Eric, SpaceX is changing the entry angle on this flight compared to other flights.
That's right. They're making the entry angle is going to be more aggressive so that there's a greater load on the ship. They're trying to blow it up. Okay, they're going to see what it can handle without blowing up and test the tiles and test all the everything that they've done. They're going to be testing. So that's why the greater angle.
So Dubstep Kid said, LOL, no, I forgot that Shannon is also a boy's name.
Wow.
You guys, it's not Friday night.
What's going on? Oh, so he thought Shannon was a girl.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's great.
Well, Shannon, I'm glad that you let him know that you had a penis.
Cleared that up.
We cleared the air. Thank you.
Let's see. Golfing Reaper. I heard that they were testing section of this ship for heat efficiency.
Yes.
Believe this is to remove tiles and sections where they're not needed to prepare for the catch and reusability.
That's exactly right. So if you guys don't know, they took shielding off the sides where they're going to be putting those pins and the catch hardware, right? So they took all those heat tiles off it to see if it affects the ship itself. That's why they're gonna burn this thing through the atmosphere hotter at a greater angle to really put as much load and stress on it. So we'll see what happens. It might blow up in midair. If something melts through because those heat tiles are missing, well, we might see a big boom over the Indian Ocean. We'll see.
Alex, good morning from Land Down Under, Melbourne,
How you doing,
Victoria,
Alex?
Australia. Dark Velocity, I left my Wi-Fi named Stinky, and it upset my kids.
Yeah, be like, kids, log into Stinky.
Life and Death, I've already gone to Mars twice. My name is on 2 of the Mars rovers.
There you go. That's pretty cool.
That is
That'd
cool.
be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. Hey guys, just to let you know, we are at T-minus 7 minutes. 7 minutes for the Starship's engine relight that they're going to do. That's a big deal. Once again, they are going to be turning one Raptor engine on in space, right? We'll see how that goes.
83 Jeep, is there a reason why you're not using the peplink to bond your connections?
Yes, I'm going to, okay.
Oh God.
Can I use peplink to bond the connections and purchase their monthly deal? Yes. But on this channel, I like doing things extremely difficult, right? I like to push myself as far as we can go and then also make it cheap, easy, affordable, however you want to look at it for everyone else. So if I can get you to purchase one of these for $50 and I can show you how to create a bond between two networks using a Raspberry Pi and not have to pay. And I'm not talking about session level bonding. If you're a geek, you know the difference, session level or literally packet-based bonding. Using this, that'd be cool. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna give it a shot. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be able to deal with a gigabit. Because remember, we're not going to be feeding in just SpaceX Starlink. We're going to be feeding in fiber too. And it's a gig by a gig. Gig up, gig down. We'll see what it does. All right, you're giggling.
Because you guys, it's not Friday night. You crack me up.
There's a lot of bananas.
Cool water. Did the tiles?
How you doing, Cool Water?
Did the tiles were about the size of a dinner plate? Did they reduce the size?
No, 6x4. They've always been. They're ceramic. It's basically like a dinner plate. Yeah, and they're as fragile as a dinner plate too. So that you can break them. They're only this thin. I mean, it's like, you know, quarter inch or half inch or something. They're not that thick either. So, and they're ceramic. Ceramic, if you hit them just right, they'll just shatter. Right? They're very strong when it comes to dissipating heat, handling heat, but they're very fragile at the same time. So,
Shannon, they gonna launch a banana?
I think they should launch a banana.
Lighting nut, why didn't the banana pop once it reached OG?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Tennessee Wirehead, will SpaceX use his spaceship to launch his heavier Starshield satellites?
Well, the Starshield satellites, they're basically Starlink satellites, just done, some conversions done through the Space Force, right? So that they can do their own governmental stuff so that Elon doesn't have to get involved with any governmental anything. That's the whole idea behind it. So yeah, that whole, you know, the shield, as they call it, that's their own thing. But yeah, they're bigger, but the Falcon 9 has no problem bringing them up there, right? So
Dutch Linux, now we all know that Shannon has a 6-inch banana. LOL. Skippy.
Shannon,
Skippy
they're
USA.
coming for you now, Shannon.
Skippy USA says hi to everyone. Hi, Skippy.
How you doing, Skippy?
Joe said, trust no one on the interweb. And then
Trust no one.
Honey Badger said, pretty soon you guys need to retitle from JCristina to JC Pickup Place. LOL. My Zathuka, does anybody in the house recommend the Speedify system for better internet connecting bonding?
Yeah. So I use Speedify for many, I would say many, many months. If you go to JCristina.com/speed, once again, JCristina.com/speed, you'll get a discount with Speedify. I used it. It works out great. They do bond well, but the bonding is done through the network, and the network is a VPN. So since they're doing the bonding through the VPN, what ends up happening is you end up with additional latency because you are going through a VPN, right? It's inherent. Whenever you're going through multiple servers and you have multiple hops, you end up with more latency. So if you're looking to reduce latency, it's better to do a bond hardware locally in comparison to software virtually. Kind of get it? So, but yes, Speedify, awesome. Absolutely awesome. I highly recommend them for doing bonding.
Okay.
Remember, it's only one computer though. If you bond on your hardware, it can be for multiple computers. Every computer on your network will have that bond compared to the one computer that's running Speedify. Keep that in mind.
You done?
Sorry, I'm done.
Ronster TV Media, Starlink is a big thing in my neck of the woods. Great job, guys and gals.
Thank you
83
for that.
Jeep. What Peplink cost? My Peplink B1 has no extra fees to use the bonding mode.
No. Oh, really? Okay. So just so you know, Peplink will do a bond. It will do a failover and it will do a fail forward. Okay. Fail back, fail forward, right? It does do that. But for true packet level, you have to use their service. Okay. Check into that. Make sure that I'm right. I could be wrong because I've been wrong before. But check into that. I have a feeling that is the case.
Okay. Shannon said that he has his glasses on just for us. I do too. Golfing Reaper is still waiting for Starlink to be available in South Africa. Our government is just not playing ball. Would make a big difference for everyone that is yet not connected to fiber. Dutch, if they shatter, then they are for sure going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's. LOL.
Guys, we are currently at T-minus 2 minutes. I'm going to turn this back on because they're going to try turning on that engine in space.
Sweet.
3 sea level Raptors on the very aft end of the ship.
Marinate Geek, I tried to...
Essentially reigniting it while we're in that microgravity environment in Earth orbit. We had attempted this once previously on Flight 3, but ended up skipping it when we had some attitude control issues with the ship. And we are on the dark side of the planet right now, so views are going to be a little bit dark, but hopefully we see some engine light come on as we do this relight test. This is a pretty critical capability for doing deorbit burns. This is not a deorbit burn. Want to stress that we're on a trajectory where if we didn't fire off the engine at all, we are definitely coming home. Ooh, seeing some thunderstorms down on the ground. That's pretty cool.
Thanks for the reply regarding
but
SpaceX
this is not a deorbit burn.
NASA,
If we didn't
and
fire
my
this
thinking
engine,
that
we're
NASA is
on
more
an
advanced than secretive.
intentional suborbital trajectory. So no matter what, we're coming in over the Indian Ocean.
Here we go. We got
Firing off the
T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 1 minute for that relight of the single engine.
We made sure it was clear ahead of flight, and we continue to monitor during, but we're going to aim for that and hopefully see this relight test coming on in about a minute. It's just going to be one of these engines, and it uses what's called the header tank, so these small spherical tanks in the very top of Starship up in the nose cone. They don't require nearly as much gas to pressurize as your main tank, so they're really useful for
It's dark,
any in-orbit maneuvers.
Dissipation, you're going to see.
And then
so all those
landing,
flashes is
so if we make
basically
it to a
like
landing
sparks,
burn,
like heat.
Today we'll be using them for that as well. So we should be coming up in just about the next minute. Should be under a minute now, away from that expected ship burn. And again, we've relit Raptors pretty
T-minus 20
frequently.
seconds on that.
We just did it with the landing burn and that boost back burn on the booster, and we've done it on ship landing burns. We just haven't done it in this microgravity environment where your propellant management and a lot of other things are different as you're not
T-minus
down
5
the Earth's
seconds.
gravity.
Here we go. There it is.
And
Just heard the call out for startup. There's some light. There's that Raptor relit. And shut down.
There it is. It worked.
All right, there you have it. The first time ever lighting a Raptor while in outer space, other than our ascent burn. So really cool to see that relit. That's a pretty critical capability that we're going to need when we're doing orbital missions in the not too distant future. So check another one off. That was a really cool. That was an objective we really wanted to hit on this one, and so good to see ship.
There you go. So it worked. Perfect, guys. So we have T-minus 9 minutes for the start of the re-entry of Starship. T-minus 9 minutes. So we'll get back into some questions.
All right. Marinate Geek. You have to turn that down some. I try to copy my message above, which was it's about Starlink speeds in Texas.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know what the.
What was the question?
I don't know because we're.
So if you put a question in and we missed it, put it in again. We'll see it at JCristina or put a Q before your question. Either way.
Re-ask your question because I might have missed the first question that came through about it, and you had to recopy it.
Sorry.
Mateo 7. Is it possible to bond with PF Sense?
Yeah, you can use PF Sense. I'm not a fan of PF Sense. I'm just not. I don't care for it. Can you do it? Yes. They make it more difficult than it should be. My personal opinion. Now we have music, I think, in the background. We got to shut that off.
It is cool that they accomplished that relight in space.
Yeah, that was big. That is really big.
Luke Villeneuve. Hi, guys. Luke
How you doing, Luke?
Canada. Great work. Keep it up.
Thank you. I see James said that his grandma had a VIC-20 computer and a Commodore 64. I had a VIC-20 and a Commodore 64 also. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Whereas the computer it was just a keyboard. That was it. You plug it into a TV.
As old as James' grandma?
I'm probably as old as James's grandma.
George, what do you know about the Tesla OS laptop? Any idea when it might be available?
The OS what? Tesla what?
OS laptop.
Never heard of it. I never heard of it.
George.
Yeah. I never heard of it. Send some information, George. Send some information. I can see the screen is getting bright.
Yes.
Let me listen for a second. Oh, no, they still have their music on. Have to shut it off. God forbid. It will flag the channel.
Neutrino. If I switch to Linux, can I still use Excel, PR? What options do I have?
Excel is a difficult one, but there's a lot of alternatives. There is OpenOffice that's pretty damn good. LibreOffice is another one. Libre, it's another Office package. There's some online version. There's a lot of different things. So definitely take a look at some of my videos as I cover some of them. But yeah, you're not going to be able to use everything, but some of the things you could even use through like a virtual machine, or you can dual boot if you needed to, or you could use, there's a lot of different ways you can do it, right? A lot of different ways.
Okay, so we have some questions
coming
let me
hear
up.
Guys, I got to shoot this one more thing. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, really?
There we go. Listen to that. I think it looks pretty good.
Why do you have to always do it right in my face?
It's not.
You're lucky it didn't backfire like that first
time. It didn't. That last time was this long.
Yeah, if I would have moved back,
if I shake it, will it? Let me see. Ready? Hold on.
I swear to God.
No, it didn't do it.
It needs a tune-up.
It needs. I'm glad. Well, it didn't blow out a flame.
No, just the first time.
All right.
Pointed at you.
I digress.
Let's see. Marinate Geek. Okay. How much speed increase in megabytes, right?
Right.
Currently in Texas at 50 to 100 megabyte download Starlink.
That's not bad. 52. I mean, if you're getting download speeds of, 100 plus, 120, 150, with SpaceX Starlink, you're doing good. Your upload speed, if you're over 10, 12, 15, you're doing good. I will see sometimes 20 plus upload, and I'll see up to 200-300 down, because they switched me from a POP, or a point of presence, that instead of being in Georgia, my POP now is in Miami. So instead of my POP, my point of presence, being 700 miles north of me, it's 70 miles south. So my latency dropped also. But if you ask them to move your POP to a closer location, they're just going to tell you to pound sand. That's just it. 5.8 million people currently watching, guys. 5.8 million
crazy.
People watching. And it's T-minus 4 minutes for re-entry. T-minus 4 minutes for re-entry.
All right.
You can see it starting to get a little fiery, right? A little fiery there. Let me see if they're talking about it at all. Nope, still music. We have to turn it off.
All right. Dutch. My love was for Amiga.
Amiga. I remember the Amiga.
James. No. I think we were the same age. I was pretty young when she had those computers. Shannon said might be a scam like the Tesla phone videos.
Yeah.
83 Jeep had a Texas Instrument Silent 700. Thorn, Apache OpenOffice is awesome. Hillbilly in Asia, Tesla Book 9 notebook, Core 17, 12th Gen, 16 gigabytes, DDR4, 512 gigabytes SSD. Jeez.
There you go.
Dutch
Nice.
LibreOffice is a bit better than OpenOffice.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's definitely, it's good stuff, but yeah, they're better.
Chris said...
I see something. No,
No,
we still got music.
Chris said I had an IBM PCJR as my first computer, used a tape recorder to save programs that were written in BASIC.
Wow.
Arnold Smith,
I remember.
My oldest computer was a Timex Sinclair that did BASIC only before DOS came out.
Yep.
Too Tall Steve, thanks guys for the live. I'm as excited as I was a boy watching the Gemini and Apollo missions. I'm an old fart.
No, it's cool. It's
It
just
is cool.
amazing like what they can do today. Absolutely amazing. We're at T-minus 3 minutes for the reentry.
Dave Opplinger, during every flight, we see bits and pieces of something fly off or float away. What is that? Just ice? After the relight, there was a chunk of something floating around.
Yeah, a lot of it is accumulation of ice. And every once in a while, it could be a part. It could be a piece. It could be a tile. We'll see during re-entry. They're going to re-enter at a greater angle of attack, right? So let's say if they re-enter the ship normally, like coming in at this angle, it'll be at this angle, right? It's just going to be a greater degree or angle of attack as it's coming in. What that means is it's going to experience more load and it's just going to heat up a lot more. And it's going to be heated up in a different area. Okay, so it's going to come in and heat up the bottom of it, but if it's at a greater angle one way or another, it's going to heat up more on either side. So we'll see what ends up happening. They're trying to blow it up because they're pushing the limits. That's what they have to do. Because remember, there's going to be humans on board eventually within 2 years that are going to go to the moon. They need to blow shit up now so that we don't have to worry about humans blowing up. They're back. All right, here we go.
We did not attempt a return to the launch site and catch attempt today when strict criteria were not met and the Super Heavy booster executed a planned divert to a landing burn and soft splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, obviously we were hoping to come back to the tower, but this was a test and we knew that it was a very viable possibility.
Starship is at 85 kilometers. Flaps now have control of the vehicle.
There you go.
All right,
T-minus
great
20
news there,
seconds
turning our
for
attention
re-entry.
over to the star of the show here, giving us these amazing views once again. We heard the call out there telling us that
we're going to be looking at the
Starship
flaps.
vehicle
Is there going to be
is
any
now
melt through?
83 kilometers
Are we going to
above.
see any
Coming up
pieces
around
falling
T
off?
plus
Debris of any kind?
Well, now actually the
how that
ship,
plasma
as you
comes
can
off
see,
it?
is beginning to re-enter the Earth's
What's really
atmosphere.
nice is we have 4
As
shots.
a reminder, one of the main
last time
goals
we
of
only had
today's
like
flight
1 or
test
2.
is
We
for
have
the
4
ship to
cameras
make it
going
through
on
the
right now.
extreme
1 on
heat
each,
of
1 from the
re-entry
bay, 1
and
from
to do so
each
in
one
a
of the
controlled
flaps.
manner.
So,
Now,
and then
re-entry
this would be the
is typically
underbelly
a
shot,
portion
which
of
would be
flight
the
where
big
we
shot,
don't have communication
where you're going to see the plasma.
capability
You see
with
it's starting
the
to get
spacecraft
brighter
because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, which is roughly 8 kilometers per second or about 5 miles per second.
5
those
miles
speeds,
per
yep,
second.
pretty fast. The spacecraft is moving through the atmosphere
Shannon's
rather
birthday
quickly,
is
and that
tomorrow.
Shannon!
So here I am again. I have 225 characters to use. I'm happy to be here with you all, experiencing history in the making. Tomorrow is my 56th birthday. How about some bananas to celebrate? Woo woo!
Yes.
Let's give Shannon a shout out with all the bananas.
Shannon, happy birthday.
Happy
Bananas
birthday.
for you. Lots of bananas.
Woo!
That is awesome. 56.
Love it.
You're old.
Get
Starship
out.
is
You're old.
approaching the peak heating phase of
We're
entry.
like the same age. Within like a few months.
Yeah, but you act old.
Peak heating.
And we
Did
just
you hear
heard
that,
we're
guys?
getting
This is
into
when
the
shit gets
peak
real.
heating phase.
All right?
We're getting
What is
these
that?
views courtesy of Starlink.
Watch.
We've got 4 different terminals on the ship itself.
Here we go.
It's what's really
This is
allowed
it.
us to get real-time data during what's otherwise been just a mystery box, essentially,
You see the
for
ice?
spacecraft design,
Look
where
right here.
when you're
That's what I was
re-entering
asking
through
you
the
what that
atmosphere,
was.
at least getting anything in
Little
real
piece
time
falls off here and there.
hasn't ever been possible before, but we're able to not just get these views, but real-time telemetry from the ship as it's coming through. Do really want to stress that we are really pushing the ship today. The heat shield is not in the same configuration as it was last flight, where we had a team of ship techs do just an otherworldly task, replacing the entire heat shield, thousands of tiles, installing a backup ablative, and that pretty much set us up to do a pinpoint landing on Flight 5. We did not do that with this one. We have some backup in those really sensitive areas around the flap, but this is an older generation heat shield.
And over here,
And
see how it's like
knowing
all
we
ice?
weren't going to do that, we even went and removed some extra tiles. There are some missing tiles on
It's
the nose
cotton
cone
balls.
where we're testing some backups. There are some steel-covered tiles in a couple of different spots, and there's also a whole lot more steel of the ship showing. As you guys talked about, we gave it a little bit of a haircut, a couple hundred tiles trimmed off the sides, and that's where we might have catch fittings in the future. But color's starting to come in. So
There we
it looks
go.
like things are going to start heating up, Kate and Jesse.
It's going to be
Yeah,
heating up.
fun
There we
fact,
go.
Dan, we actually removed 2,100 heat shield tiles from Starship in order to
2,100 heat
basically
shield tiles
present
removed. 2,100.
seating line, which you kind of can see there in your view.
Like I said, they want to blow it up if they can.
The heat shield line came up further on the vehicle, and just like Dan said, we want to test the vehicle beyond what we think it is capable of carrying based on our simulations and calculations. So once again, to just be super plain, don't be surprised if we see some wackadoodle stuff happen here.
Like it blow up.
We won't be. There are a number of things that we are testing out intentionally to see what the ship can take.
Yeah, exactly. And knowing what those limits are will really help us design the vehicle of the future. Essentially, removing those tiles helps us remove a lot of weight from the vehicle, a lot of things that might potentially need refurbishment in the future. And the goal is to come up with a heat shield pattern or design that we don't have to refurbish. We can just continue to use it over and over again. And that's why we're changing some of those tiles.
That is the difference between what SpaceX is doing compared to the shuttle. If you guys remember, the space shuttle, like I said before, it was like 9 months for them to put these heat tiles back. They're trying to make this 100% reusable so that it can land and then take back off the next day or even another hour down the road and just refill it and refill it. So reusability is a really big thing. So they want the minimal amount of, let's say, revamping that they need to do. So by making this as strong, that what they're trying to do right now is going to help out a lot. So right now we're going to start seeing the plasma pouring off, and at that point, if we see this flap start melting through, it's a problem. We'll see.
Make all the ships that were about to start flying even better. Just really understand what their capabilities are going to be. We've got kind of the next gen ship lined up for Flight 7. It's got all of those heat shield upgrades and everything. And one of the things that we're going to be doing that's most interesting, and one of the reasons we wanted daylight, is we're going to be flying pretty aggressively as ship comes in. We're going to be kind of nose down. And
wow,
we've done it in wind tunnels. We've done it in simulations. You might see the flaps really flapping around trying to control the vehicle. We're betting we might have a little bit more capability than we think in just the analysis, but always a chance that bet doesn't pay off. But that just helps us know, like, what are our
Starship
limits.
is now halfway through the peak heating phase of entry.
Sweet. Halfway there,
through
halfway
peak
home,
heating,
guys.
So this is when it starts.
Yeah, and
getting
if you
real.
guys, again, can follow along with the altitude and the speed of ship as it's making its way back down to Earth, bottom right-hand corner of your
You're
screen.
seeing some sparks here and there.
Speed is still going really, really
Watch
fast.
the top of the
Again,
screen. You see the
as
sparks
it
here
gets
and there?
closer to Earth, we'll see that altitude drop a little bit faster. It's kind of dropping pretty slow right now. And again, as we get closer and closer to literally the surface of the water, then we'll start to see that speed pick up. And if we can make it through this re-entry, we will attempt to do that flip maneuver once again and splash down in the ocean.
Exactly.
So like he was saying, they're going to try going almost nose down on the entry, like literally just max, right? And then later pull it back up and then go perfectly straight into the ocean. So it's going to be coming in at a severe angle. So we'll see if it holds together. like I said, they want to blow it up because they want to blow it up before they have human on board, right? And then it's a problem. They can't blow it up.
Last time, this one is 1 generation older. So we are also testing out new secondary thermal protection materials. So basically, like if the heat shield isn't in this one spot, can this other material?
So I've already typed in the chat, but again, thank you for saying happy birthday to Shannon, and he wanted to share a gift. So if you got a membership from Shannon, please reach out and say thank you. He has our parties always going. Him and Peter Gosling always are popping off and
really
making
appreciate it.
fun.
Thank you so much,
we thank
Shannon.
you very much, and everybody that gets one, you know.
Once again,
we
if you
benefit.
got one of those free memberships, say thank you to Shannon. Put a whole bunch of bananas in the chat.
His birthday's tomorrow.
His birthday is tomorrow, and he's giving you a free membership. He's giving you a birthday present on his birthday. Once again, say thank you.
And flaps, like the one that we see in the main picture there on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, these views as the vehicle continues to enter the Earth's atmosphere, drawing a crowd once again here at SpaceX and Hawthorne as folks tune in as the mission continues on. Now, the next event that we have coming up, we should hear the call out that the vehicle is transonic.
I just don't think it's worth it.
T plus 1 hour and 2 minutes or so.
And the reason it's not worth it is because it's so easy for them to get more satellites in space. As we can see, they are launching every week, sometimes 2, 3 Falcon 9s. And it's not a big deal. So to refurbish, and it's just not worth it. Now the sparks are starting, and we can see clouds, guys.
Here it's subsonic.
Yeah, no.
And almost real quick, almost a reverse of. I'm sorry.
So just to let you guys know, at plus 1 hour and 2 minutes, so that's in 5 minutes, that's when we're going to see the Starship hit transonic, and then 1 hour 3 minutes, it's going to hit subsonic, and then at 1 hour and 4 minutes is when it will do the landing flip. So we got, let's say, 4 minutes until we see it.
Where's supposed to...
It's going to end up landing in the Gulf, in the Indian Ocean.
That we're seeing with the different colors of that plasma around the ship, which is really, really cool to see. Again, we are pushing the limits of ship today, but so far everything is looking pretty nominal.
I like it.
We'll see how the next few minutes
guys,
goes.
now it's starting to get a
like
little
we've said
flamey.
before, don't
now,
be surprised if this is not
we're seeing a
entirely
lot of fire.
smooth
Now
sailing
we need to watch
all the way
these
down
fins.
to the ocean surface.
Let's watch these
Similar to
fins
Flight
and
5,
see
we are
if they
targeting
end up
the
getting
same
any
splashdown
type of melt
location
through.
in the
That
Indian
is what
Ocean,
happened last
but
time.
we are not expecting to recover
Do the
vehicle.
flaps have any melt through?
And we were getting some
Yes or no?
glimpses of the flaps. The flaps so far are looking pretty good. We're not seeing any burn through. There's those flaps again in that hinge area, which is our most concerning area there. That's great news for us for now. Again, the next few minutes could change as we continuously push those limits.
We can see that they put the heat tiles wrapped around the edge this time.
A little bit once we're subsonic, essentially. So I think that's about 1,200 kilometers an hour. Once we're down below that, that's when we're going to kind of dip our nose down and get that more aggressive angle of attack. Normally, we're just belly flop right into the water, pretty much, that position. But if we're going to be able to do return to launch sites, we're going to want to be able to fly with a little bit more of an angle of attack, get you a little bit more range as you're coming through. And so this will be
Shannon is the
to
father.
see quite how far can we push it. And obviously we're going to do these kind of tests way out here in super remote areas before you ever try to bring a ship back
Lots
to
of
a place like
sparks.
Starbase.
Starship remains on a good entry trajectory. External temperatures are coming down.
Coming down. That means we hit peak
All right,
heating.
great news there. That tells us that we are through the phase of peak heating. So we are expecting these temperatures to continue to come down. Once again, we are targeting a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean around off the northwest coast of Australia. We can see these beautiful views of planet Earth coming in. Yeah, this is very different where we had
All right, so
nighttime
she needs to wait for a
views
second.
of
So we can
the ship
see
as it was
that
re-entering,
fin.
And
that
now we've
flap
got
right
daylight.
there
It
is burning
about
through
an
on the
hour or
left-hand
so
side.
after
Do we see it,
sunrise
guys?
there in the Indian
We are
Ocean.
seeing
So
burn
pretty
through.
cool to see this.
Let me get my little
Yeah, and it
pointer
might
here.
not
You
seem
see
like
this
it
right
makes a
here?
huge difference,
This is
but we
burn
do get a
through.
little
This is
bit
what
more
they
light
do
on
not
ship
want
as
to
well for
see.
the
They do
camera
not
crews that
want
we
to see
have.
this burn through. This is a
Very
problem.
beneficial for us to visually
This
see
flap,
anything
this
and
fin is doing
try to
fine.
correlate
This is
that
not a
to any of
problem.
the
This
sensors
one
or
is
data that
definitely
we
a problem.
have on the vehicle.
Exactly. That is why we shifted our launch window so that we could have that daylight in order to improve our observations of the vehicle. So not only are we getting all the raw data,
T-minus 2 minutes till transonic.
we also have multiple cameras and assets out there that are watching the vehicle and will also be able to tell us with this visual story that is also very, very important.
I'm going to take this off.
And as we get down a little bit lower, the Raptor engines are in their chill phase right now, so just essentially getting them primed to turn on. We're going to use those 3 center engines to do a landing flip and then a landing burn. So we'll come down kind of in that slightly pointed down belly flop and then fire off those engines to flip us around and then do that final landing burn. That should be coming up in just a little over, just under 5 minutes from now. And then hopefully we start hearing some call outs on transonic and subsonic as we slow down. Again, once you hear Starship as subsonic, keep a close eye on the flaps. They're going to be working overtime essentially to maintain control of the ship as we get a little more aggressive.
On the pistons to run the flaps.
God, that's a really good question.
That's a really
look
good
at
question,
that.
George.
Look at that image of the burn through
We
happening.
can see that we are beginning.
Starship has passed maximum entry dynamic pressure.
All right, great call out there. But we can see on this view here that we do have some heating there on that looks like one of the forward flaps on Starship. This is to be expected. We knew that the vehicle would perform differently than what we had seen on Flight 5. This is actually really good data because it tells us what parts of the vehicle at this, what will soon be a higher angle of attack once we drop down below the speed of sound. We'll have a higher angle of attack, meaning we're going to be flying nose down, basically. So yeah, this is good news, but we can actually, looks like that heating is starting to cool off there.
Yeah, it's cooling down.
Yeah, it's a little.
But that heating did not have to do with the, like she was saying, with going transonic. Once it slows down and they hit that angle going down. This happened before on re-entry. So that means they really still need to work on the heating, those tiles or whatever they're doing on those flaps, because it's not working. It's not working. They're burning through. Obviously, we didn't see the entire skin melt through, but they're still melting through, and we should not see that heat pouring through the one flap. The other flap did fine. They are going to be moving these flaps around a little bit. They're going to be expanding. The unit itself is going to be larger. It's going to carry more propellant. So there's a lot of things that they're going to be doing on the new IFT-7. That this is more like a iteration. IFT-7 is more innovation. There's going to be a lot more done.
And will help
Shannon wants to know,
inform
do
the
they
future
need the flaps
designs
going
of
through
this
Atmos?
vehicle.
Can they not pop them
We can
out
see
after
some
going
flap
through?
movement as the camera
Yeah,
is
well,
moving
what
around.
they're gonna do now is-
that's what you're seeing there is the flaps adjusting when we have a
so
camera on
they're going to
one
have
of
the
the
flaps
there.
get it to
that
go.
we're-
So it's
that-
going
this
to
is the view
the
that you're
ship
seeing
itself.
there.
Here, perfect. I have one, right? So they're going to try getting the ship instead
And
of
you can
coming in
also
like
see
a
the
belly
graphic
flop.
in the
They're going to try
bottom.
getting it
Starship
to
is
come in
slowing
like
down
this,
past Mach 1.
right?
And
So it's maximum.
call outs aligning with this. You can see the orientation of the vehicle starting to change. You can follow that graphic at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah.
Again, that is why those flaps are changing. They control the orientation.
So instead of coming in like this, right? They're going to end up flipping it. Right now, you can see it's almost flat. They're going to end up flipping it so it looks something like this. So it's got maximum pressure on those flaps to see if they can handle it, basically. And then at the last minute, let's say, it's going to right itself straight up and down and then land in the ocean. That is what the plan is. We'll see if they can actually do it.
James Clore, they have had different tiles on each side flaps.
Yeah, this is such a cool view. This reminds
that could
me
be. It's possible.
Of when we first performed the belly flop maneuver on the high altitude test with serial number 8. We saw the ship come back through, and I always wondered what it looked like from the ship's perspective, and this perspective, I think, helps inform that. We will be, as Dan said, we will be dipping down a little further and really be flying nose first. This higher angle of attack, we're intentionally doing it to stress those aft flaps, and that will help inform the limits of flap control in order to collect data for future landing profiles.
How would you do it?
I mean, we're looking good so far. We've just got about 5
are we good?
kilometers
Yeah, I think we're good.
to
I'm
go.
looking at the. So we're at +4.
We're still just a couple hundred meters over the ground. Do that flip. And landing.
So here's the flip. The flip should be happening like right now.
I have a feeling this is going to
right now
so
perfectly
cool
flat.
as it passes through the clouds.
Any second, it should flip to like this.
Obligatory shout out to the
there
entire
it goes.
avionics
Here it comes,
team
guys.
at
There it is. There it is.
And there's that nose
Look at
down
the flaps
orientation.
working it. They're working it. Now it's flat again.
Now the Raptor engines will relight and help flip the booster back
kinda like
up.
this.
This is a more severe flip given the orientation. The
We're at
engines will
300
shut down
kilometers, guys.
prior to
300
the
kilometers.
water
That thing is
making
working.
impact,
It's
prior to
working.
the vehicle making impact with the water.
Our ship
Look
is
at that.
doing great so far.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Here's the final landing burn
There's
flip.
engines relighting.
It's coming in like this,
What
and then
a
it's going to
great
right itself perfectly
reorientation
straight and then
by
land.
Starship.
There it is.
Wow.
All 3 down to 2 into
Look
the
at that.
water.
Starship is landed.
Wow.
They should blow it up
We
now.
have ship splashed down
They didn't blow
in
it.
the Indian Ocean.
Some awesome
Jeez.
buoy
That's from a
cam
buoy.
action here. Daylight
our buoy.
views.
Oh, wow.
Oh, is it burning up?
Yeah.
Incredible. We really pushed the limits on shipping and made it all the way back down to Earth.
Jeez. That's unbelievable,
I am
guys.
shocked, to be honest.
So
I
my
think
question
many
is, did
folks-
it land on the exact pinpoint spot that they wanted it to land? That's going to determine if they're going to be able to catch this thing on the next one, on IFT-7.
Right, you need to move
And
us on screen
turns
for
out the vehicle had more capability than our calculations predicted. And that is why we test like we fly.
Exactly why we do that. And those views were
There we go.
absolutely incredible to watch. Because of Starlink, we were able to get the views all the way down, as well as the buoys, seeing ship touchdown in daylight.
So cool, so cool. Now we want to, unfortunately, wrap up the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Scott
We'll say
Parsley.
congratulations
Anyone
to
have
our
connections with
teammates at
past,
SpaceX.
present astronauts and could get their perspective? Space program has gone from Ford Pinto to pure Tesla and made in America. I don't know, but if you have any, send them this way.
Yeah, no, it's true. So, guys, there you have it. There you have it. You're looking at IFT-6. The major thing that I think happened this time is they did a lot of testing. That was this. I think this entire IFT-6 was just a massive test because, once again, it's going to be a major difference between IFT-6 and IFT-7. There's going to be changes, flap changes. There's going to be a lot of changes going on. It's going to be larger, hold more fuel. There's a lot that's going to go on. So I think pushing it the way they just did, even though that angle, instead of belly flopping kind of in like this, they were coming through flat, and then finally they pitched it probably negative 15 degrees or so, maybe 15 degrees or so, something like that. Not that much, but a little bit. So just to test it, and then at the last moment, right itself, and then land where it's supposed to land. Now, once again, did it land on a dime? Did it land exactly where it needed to land, within centimeters? If that is the case, they should be able to catch it in the future. And that's the whole goal, right? That's the whole goal, is to be able to catch it in the future. So I think it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. To me, I mean, this is history in the making, right? This is history. I mean, just think about how how far we've come in such a short period of time, right? And I'm not talking about from landing on the moon until now. I'm talking about like the last 4 or 5 years since SpaceX has been doing Starlink, for example, right? I mean, Starlink was a major, major move forward. I mean, Starlink is everywhere on the planet today. The only place that you can't get Starlink is in countries that don't allow their citizens to have Starlink. Now, why do they not allow Starlink? Because they want to have control over the people, control over the narrative. If you have SpaceX Starlink and you can get the internet without having any type of, let's say, big brother supervision, you'll see something that they don't want you to see. So those are the only locations. The perfect example is India. India and Elon Musk have been fighting back and forth for months and months and months and months. Okay? They've been trying to get Starlink in India, and they just give them such crap continuously based on security this and security that. It's not about security. It's not about the internet. It's about control. And once again, a society has Starlink, and you can go outside with a little dish, throw it on the ground, and use your laptop and surf the web, the entire world of knowledge, it's very hard to keep people, let's say, dumb and under your thumb, right? So anyways, let's get into some how you doings to everyone, and some goodbyes and thank yous and everything else. Do we have any questions? Put them in there and we will answer. So we're going to hang out for like another 5 minutes or so, and then we are out. Any questions? Throw them in there now.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying bye, signing off. So
thank you so much.
As
Appreciate
you're leaving,
you being here.
Thank you for being here and hanging out.
Throw the video
with us.
thumbs up. Share the channel with your community. That would be helpful.
Like that button.
Like it.
And then don't forget Friday Night Live.
Friday night we will be here.
Where you can really get BANANAS.
Exactly. A little bit. Yeah, definitely Free Speech Friday.
And
Friday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Even though Thanksgiving is not this week, I know a lot of people may be going on vacation. So if we don't see you,
Then
have
we'll
a great Thanksgiving next week.
Absolutely.
Not this week, next week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And glad that everybody made it. There was a lot of
Thanks,
people.
Shannon. Thanks, Peter.
Yes.
Thanks,
Happy
everyone.
birthday, Shannon, tomorrow.
Happy birthday. Happy bananas.
All the bananas.
All the bananas. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all of those super chats that have come through, all the free memberships, everything. It really helps out
Peter
a lot.
Gosling, thank you so much for the free memberships and for being here.
Absolutely.
For all you guys. It's always good to catch up with you guys, especially on an extra day during the week.
Exactly.
During the day. Who would have knew?
Who would have thunk such a thing? So anyways, thanks so much. We're going to leave the chat going for another probably 5-10 minutes. And then go ahead if there's any other questions.
Marinate Geek, like 5 more minutes, guys.
Okay, 5 more minutes.
Marinate Geek, I don't have Starlink because on SSI, my money is super limited. That 50 to 100 megabits download is what I see on the coverage map. I just have my 5G hotspot.
Okay, so 5G hotspot is like $50 a month in the US, right? Right around there. So if you can get 5G hotspot, it is definitely worth it if you have a 5G tower near you, because you're going to get similar speeds, maybe even faster than SpaceX Starlink at half the price, a little bit less than half the price. But if you do not have 5G and you have LTE or 4G, Starlink is a better alternative. Hope that helps.
Yes. Veloz, would I bypass the Starlink to be able to use third-party router? Can I revert back to the Starlink router?
Yes. The only thing is when you do so, you have to factory reboot it, right? Do a factory reset on it, and then it will go back to the way it was. Once you pull it out and go, let's say it's called bypass mode. Once you move the SpaceX Starlink router into bypass mode and you're using another router, you can't come back until you factory reset the Starlink router. I hope that makes sense. It's easy. You just go in the app, go to factory reset, it reboots, and you're good to go again. Good to go again.
Yeah, just signing off. Happy birthday again to Shannon. Thank you.
Any more questions? Are we good?
No, we're good.
Excellent.
We are
Thank you
good.
so much for being here for IFT 6. We will be here also for IFT 7. That is going to be even more exciting. Is I'm going to guess there's going to be major changes, number one, but then also we might see another catch. That's the only thing we didn't see today. We missed a catch. We did see some burn through of those flaps. They need to work on those flaps. And they did, once again, a ton of testing. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. Many blessings to all of you. We'll see you in the next one.
Yes.
Take care, guys.
Good night.
Bye.